Speed like a butterfly. This is the moment. Viņš kameru izmanto.
Kas tur notika? Kāpēc man atnāca notifications? Tā, nu first stream live, bet kur viņš iet? What should I do? I don't understand. Transition cut.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment.
Labi, fuck it, es šito nesaprotu.
Jā, skaidrs.
Kas?
Jā, tas ir laivā.
Yeah? Nice. Tad,
What's up, Unicomart, what's going on? Can you see me? I'm hanging at the back seat because we don't know.
What to do?
It's 8 o'clock now, so...
Parāk kā izskatās, kur kamera tur iet. Es tagad pirkstu pielikšu te. Tur tāds bremzē.
Jā, tas tā arī ir īstā kamera.
Kur tā?
Yep.
Okay.
Greetings from Sweden! Crooked Timber Tattoo. Whoop! Hello, man. Hello from area. Yeah. LV. I don't believe in you, mate. Sweden. How is life in Sweden for tattoo artists? I want to know. Michael Pettersson. Is this? Am I pronouncing correctly? Hi from New York. Hello. Hello from Lithuania. Oh my God, this is like all globe is hanging out now. Okay, Yuri, are you ready?
I am ready, I think. It's just so slow that
Don't worry, be happy.
How's it looking for other people? Is it also slow and stuttering? And can they hear us?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, they can.
The guy with the name LV, why not? Lol. I'm a tattoo artist from San Francisco. It's just confusing because your nickname is LV. That's like...
A country code.
Yeah, that's like initials for our country. That's why. Sorry, I take my words back. And...
We are like a minute behind on the screen, which is interesting. I don't understand this thing.
Veci, tev jau nevajag, lai viņš rāda.
Hey boys, Wild Stork, hello! So today we will do questions and answers, I guess. If you have some questions, ask. If you don't have any, then we'll just go with the chat and see what's going on, and we'll talk random stuff like we did yesterday, hopefully a bit more organized manner.
Yeah. I should get my phone as well.
I can give you where to put your phone.
Oh wow.
I wish I could figure it out so it's not so laggy on our side. Boom, 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 boom.
Steve C, where you from, man? All the tours are booked these days. Yeah, after lockdown, I think the tattoo shops are pretty busy. At least it was the summer was like that. This summer was crazy, I think. I don't know if it's like that for every tattoo shop, but a lot of shops I know were busy. How to reschedule an appointment because you have personal plans you want to attend without feeling bad. Whew, that's a tough one. Can you answer to that?
I think the best is just to inform them that this is what's we have to reschedule. I have a thing that came up and you don't have to just go into details. You do what you have to do, because even when people call and they're like, oh, I can't make it because my grandma died for the third time, it's like, I don't need to know that. If you can't make it, you can't make it. If you have a thing that happened, just let them know that sorry, I can't, I have a reason. And
yeah, it has to be a really good reason to rebook your customer. One of them is if you're sick, but usually, yeah, it's better not to. But I mean, you have to also see if you've been tattooing that person and you know him pretty well. Maybe you have a chance to do it a nice way. But
well, you can always pull a COVID card these days.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I got tested positive. And then 2 weeks later, no, that was a false one. I'm fine.
Yeah. But it's a tough one.
Here's Steve. Nice looking shop. If this shop is nice looking, then this is kind of an office area, which sometimes acts as a shop, as a shop in a room.
Yeah, man, I can't follow. I think we have to try to read the.
What are you doing after the blue and green ban? Turning pirates and black and gray. Actually, that blue and green ban is postponed for another year or two, but there's another situation with some labeling and something that's coming into play. And with that, now it's the only thing to do is to sign that petition. I actually spoke with guys just a few moments ago, and I asked, is there anything else to do than sign the petition? And he said that's the most important thing, because then we can give those guys, if it's big enough amount people who sign, it can sort of give them more time in Brussels, so it can be postponed, either for it to be sorted out or for it to we have more time to buy inks. And also they spoke through them, we contacted the IM Ink, and they for now say that it's all good, they have the ink, they just can't keep up with manufacturing, because everyone is panic buying the stuff. And yeah, I'll have more information from them tomorrow from what it looks like. But yeah, there are some black and gray inks for one moment out there, and then we'll see what happens, and hopefully they will push some dates back for some time, so that would be awesome. But yeah, I think in Germany it's at 4th of January next year. Well, January for Germany, it's for all European countries, and even first Switzerland and Norway were kind of braggy, oh, come into work and guest in our shops because we are not Europe. But from now I heard that it also applies to those countries, because just because they're not in EU doesn't mean that it will not get to them, which might mean... Oh, same will UK. They also Brexited. They're like, haha, we're not in Europe, but they still have the same situation. And that situation might spread to other countries, so we will see. Maybe the pirate stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of... I mean, we talked a little bit yesterday already, but
Yeah.
for me, I don't even want to... I don't want to think about it. It's it's scary stuff to think that some people get really paranoid or start panicking and buying these colors this year like crazy, thinking that next year everything's gonna be gone.
Yeah, like, first of all, if you will have them, you will still not be allowed to use them. So you're just buying inks that you will not be able to use officially.
Yeah.
So that's that part. But then maybe there will come out new ones and you'll be like, oh shoot, I should have waited for these ones.
Yeah. Just wait and see what's what. I mean, colors will not disappear from this planet for sure, even if they ban. Someone's gonna figure out something new.
But if you want to do something, reach out to those Save the Pigments, see what materials they have, share it with your shop, with tattooists you know, with tattoo customers that you have, because that's the only thing that you can do, and you can get more time. And probably your customers also want to have cool tattoos with cool links that they are familiar with. So they the only people I would say to trust, and all the other small suppliers that just want you to sell stuff is a bit like, nah.
Awesome, thank you for the update.
Haven't heard about that protest. Anyone turning your tattoo instrument black and white in protest coming June? Come on, like...
What?
It's like everyone turning the Instagram black and white to protest in January. That will probably just make a lot of trendy black and white pages, which will take away from the actual information that we need to know.
Yeah.
Like with that Black Lives Matter, when they started to post that black square, and then Instagram was overwhelmed with trendy supporters, and the actual information that was useful was just dig down. That's not good.
Yeah, I think so. You
may feel cool with your activist buddies that like, yeah, I shared a picture and that means I did something, but if you want to know, go to those Save the Pigments pages. They have bunch of links, and spend some time signing that petition. You have to put some...
A lot of questions, man.
You have to put some more personal details, so it's not like Facebook's sort of click and done, but that's the best thing you can do. And yeah, now in Denmark, tattooists are putting banners like, tattooing will survive no matter what. It's like...
Yeah, no shit.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you put a banner and that will... you put a banner on your own Facebook and that will change stuff.
I have one answer to this guy. It's Sel Bronson. Do you boys think 3 solid styles in a portfolio would be well rounded enough? Even one style will be good. I mean, more styles you do is better for you, but I think if you are good enough in one style, it's already good enough for portfolio. If you can add more, it's just even better.
Jacob, your comment is held for review. It's not too bad, but be careful with those things. Yeah, it's a sensitive place here. Show. And I'm happy that your is hard.
So, should I read the comments or are you gonna read them as well?
I'm looking with one eye in one screen, so if suddenly my eyeballs look two different directions.
I think on Germany is at 4th January next year.
That's all Europe. What crazy thing I heard in Germany, because people were kind of like, oh, whatever, then we will just keep the good inks in the front, and illegal ones at the back, but like if the checkup comes, you can get a fine up to 50,000 euros. 50,000. That's a lot of thousands of euros.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
can buy half of a small apartment or a lot of beer. So yeah, they will go at some point hard on it. I think in here they sort of promise that they will, but that's a promise that there will be that buffer period where they will not stand at your shop's door at 4th of January.
Why my PP card? Who? What? Like what? How? How is that possible?
That's a big PP joke.
I like it. What else? Like I want to know, guys.
Working on my Japanese the last few months, so it's not just traditional and lettering. Well, that sounds pretty solid. Throw in a mediocre black and gray and you are welcome in any shop, but if you master your own style, I think you can go direction you want.
Remember, I don't know if it's the right time to talk about it, but you remember I told you that would be nice to from sometimes to do a review of some people tattoos they send to your email or something like that. Would you be up for something like that at some point?
Yes.
No, like not like judging like crazy. Just show the direction maybe for. But I mean, right?
Yeah. Well, there you go. Future plan. Tattoo reviews, but it has to be not just somebody sends some random tattoo. We have to make sure that it's somebody who did it, not because on any tattoo page someone's dropping some other people tattoos and like, ha ha ha, look at this stuff.
Yeah. This is I want to do this to help people, not to make fun of bad tattoos. And if some you guys are tattooers and wanna just show your work and want to know maybe what I would do different, you can do that. You can send it to Yuri's email.
I have to make a new email and I will post it.
Okay, we're gonna do this in the future, so stay tuned. We will give you more updates when we know clearly.
You guys hear about Wandering in World News? Yeah, I saw it. No, I saw it on Philip DeFranco.
How old is Carlos? Can you tell? I'm 33 years old. 5th January, 34. Whoop! I'm still fresh though.
His top part is a bit older than his bottom part. It came out first, so.
For tall guys, it's like that. Oh, you read the next one, man. It's a long one.
My boyfriend and I thought we had the house to ourselves until the morning, so was giving him a hand.
Read it loud, man. I need
I'm
to get.
happy for Jennifer. How is that not held for review?
My boyfriend and I thought we had. What did you say? He.
It's the
Okay, that's why you didn't read it loud.
yeah, but I'm feeling for you. I thought you was 24.
That's what everyone says, you know.
He's in between 24 and 42.
My mind works like 24 years old. My body is a bit older now these days. So, Yuri?
There's someone describing, I did the 5 little sparkle things on my tie around another piece. I used 7 and 5 liner for the couple of each. Interesting choice of liners. They are so close to each other that, yeah. No, it's just someone telling that just nervous of pain and getting depth. Well, when you tattoo yourself, I think by pain you can judge depth. So There you go. Carlos is a effing vampire that is hold for review. Sal, we have it. We see it. What about color and black inks in Europe next year? Europe will be colorblind, so.
Yeah. It's for some guys. It's already colorblind, full on.
Funny note on in Denmark from the hygiene course rules is like. If you open an ink, you have to throw it out in a half year, even though labeling says a year. And if you dilute ink or all the water that you use in a session should be sterile water, which you open and you have to dispose that bottle in 24 hours. So if you want to add to inks or something, but if you buy the dilution liquid, that counts like a ink without pigment, and that you can use for half a year. But if you want to put water, it's just 24 hours. Hack the system.
Hack the system.
Thought he was 26. You should stand next to him. It's like 26 meters tall. Honestly, I've been using straight liner and one.
You have to read louder. I want to hear it.
With the larger groupings, like 14 round liner, you have to get a capable machine. But if you're nervous, it's fine, and keep. It's fun to tattoo on yourself. You're like, oh, I got it. And then you try on somebody else. You're like, oh, this is not my leg.
Well, I think tattooing yourself does not benefit much. I think it's really hard to get to the place where, for example, if you're tattooing legs, it's so hard to bend and your back gets hurt. You can't focus properly on your tattoo. Maybe you can learn a little bit about that feeling, right? But
Yeah.
I think you can get more out of it if you're trying fake skin.
Like people who were teaching me, they said you will not gain more than those few tattoos that you do on yourself. You will just know how it feels, and
Yeah.
you will understand how machine feels. And then you have to try on hopefully somebody else. There's a good question. Best tips on how to put stencil on a knee.
All right, I start like these questions. Keep on rocking. Depends on the design. If it's something symmetrical, many times I freehand the knee because it just feels better. But oh man, we have to show someday maybe these tricky parts, how to stencil it, because there is a few ways. One, for example, is maybe to cut in certain areas the stencil so it you can how do you say
So it does those when it bends it.
over it, you know what I mean. So but I also used to do, I put the stencil as good as I can, and then those areas which are not perfect I freehand, so I fix it with marker.
And also I
With the-
think you don't have to go with like that. Design has to has like a wiggle room, because if you'll put some perfect mandala, it's you did it to yourself then, kind of.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, like spider webs, actually mandalas, flowers, like these things are I think you have to kind of learn how to draw these things, and then you can freehand on the knees, and it's much easier than putting the stencil. For me it is. I think for a lot of tattooers it is easier. It's about how comfortable you are with what you draw, and then you can go for it.
Yeah. Do you keep using Dan Cuban machine? You don't, right?
My Dan Cuban stopped working one day. I did a little mistake with my power supply, so I used it on rotary mode. It gave, that's my, I think that's the reason why it
The Kickstarter.
yeah, so just suddenly it stopped working.
I use mine. I have the Signbinder, and now I got this crazy stuff from friends in Asia, so I want to try to convert it with all sorts of cartridges and whatnot, but I use it for lining, for like most of the needles, like 3 to 11, but I don't use bigger ones. I probably would use.
With this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it has the little wheel here, so I just dial it down when it's smaller needle and put it back up when it's
But
bigger.
I mean, this Dan Cuban is so strong. I remember when I was doing outlines for back pieces, it was so going in so easy. I could do quick lines, and then they were like 14 round liners.
And on a strong setting, it pushes cartridges like. With the little conversion kit. So yeah, it's a powerful one. Other one I also want to play with these conversion thingies is the magnetic one from Mr. Q in Switzerland. Also interesting machine.
So where are we?
What are your top 3 flash books you own? Top 3? That's a tough choice.
I can tell you. One of my favorites are Born Weird.
Huh? The graveyard shifter? No?
Yeah. Then there is, of course, Spider Murphy flash books. Like every one of them is amazing. And I think Ed Hardy has some really amazing flash books. But there's a lot of different ones, and I think some old school tattooers using these, buying these tattoo magazines, for example, like Tribal. It's a really cool magazine. You can see a lot of work, and so on. But yeah, flash books. There's many of them. Check out Born Weird, then you will understand why it's my favorite.
I got some Japanese stuff on a convention, but yeah. If I have to say favorite, then probably those Sailor Jerry ones, because you can always. The treasures chest is pretty cool. Any tips on tattooing eyelids?
Nope.
Don't. No, I don't know.
I never done it, and I will probably never gonna do it, because it's just not my. It's not my thing to do.
I'm eyelid sensitive person, therefore I don't think I would be able to do it to somebody else if I even knew how to.
Yeah.
But from the people I spoke, I think it's just being careful and being gentle. And don't listen to those prison tips where you're like, oh, you should put a spoon underneath it. And have you heard one?
Which one?
You put a spoon underneath the eyelid and then...
Yeah. That's like Black Project. Brutal Black Project. Hey, Kevin here. All the way from South Africa. Just wanted to say thanks for all the videos you guys make. I watch both of your channels and you helped me to get my apprenticeship. Congratulations. Woo! Man, I have goosebumps. Check it out. You probably can't see, but I have it. So yeah, man. Keep on, man. Keep on rocking.
Spider Murphys are on stage. Yeah, it's just a bit pricey, so it's nice to be in a shop that have Spider Murphys. But to buy one,
I mean, books are pricey. When you want to buy a good book, you have to spend a little bit money. I mean, that's how it is. Just save up and buy it. Or there is a good way to buy actually digital books. They are also cheaper, and it's actually pretty cool way to do it. So check out online. Maybe you can find something digital.
Born Weird.
Yeah, Born Weird. Just write it down. Born Weird tattoo flash book on Google. I'm sure there will be some pictures from it.
I bought some. It's not like a flash book, but it's book with these Japanese characters, sort of like just those spirits and whatnot.
Oh, there's a question for you, my friend.
Why? What did I do?
Apprentice from Denmark. what voltage you use Bishop Packer lining and packing black?
I run mine sometimes 9 for lining, or do you think about machine for shading? I don't run it more than 8, because I think that was what the Bishop Packer's instructions said, that you don't want to run it higher because it can mess up the machine. So I stick to those rules. I sometimes feel like I would want to run it more than 8 for lining, but it's also expensive machine, so I want to stick to the rules. Plus, if there's hiccups with lines, you often want to check maybe it's just a garbage cartridge, because that can affect many things. So far, the best cartridges I like for lining is Tatsol, the ones that they have Tatsol traditional liners. They're pretty good, and that company Emala that have those blue cartridges, which I think is kind of like not Quadron, they're pretty good. So yeah, that's I would say it's for lining. It's also something to look into is a cartridge, and then a lot of stretching, and it feels like it's slower. Like you have to go a bit slower than you would with coil if you ever tried. Arthur says coil or rotary.
Both. It's a question which you would use or what? Or I think he's asking to that guy, man. I don't know.
Yeah, there's not Bishop Packer coil.
Yeah.
Coil or rotary. Coil and rotary.
Coil and rotary, both works. Coil for lining, rotary for shading. That's my setup, man.
The Dan Cuban and the other machine I have for lining, they are, I think they are rotaries, technically, but they act like coils. They're also loud and all that, and vibrate, so all that good stuff, but they slap the thing in because they have the thingy going on. So even it's a rotary, I would still look at it as a coil machine. So I think, yeah, like you said, coils for lines or coil type systems.
Yeah, like Dan Cuban is a hybrid. It's like when you have a dad horse and mother zebra.
It's a
then you
it's a rotary that associates itself as coil.
Liger.
Or like a transcoil.
Oh my god. Yeah, well that works, man. Okay, instruction.
None higher than 9. There you go.
I don't know how we use LED needles in shop. I just got the Bishop be charged V2 battery as well.
Yeah, well, battery, it's just a comfort of use, which is a good comfort, because once you detach from that cable, it's a beautiful times. And yeah, well, 9 volts, I think it's a lot, but yeah, it's I think it's matter of cartridge and slowing it down. And Elite is not bad, but they're not the best. I would say try different brands. Many like Quadron. I don't like Quadron for other reasons, because they had like all sorts of branding hiccups and they never communicate well. So that's that. When can we expect a Empire of Doom reunion? Dan is asking.
Nice. I like the comment and I really appreciate your asking this, but you know, we are not making any money out of it, so with this no, I'm joking. I don't think we're gonna ever reunite again, but at least we have 2 EPs that we can listen. So yeah, man, thanks for the question. Hope you're doing well, Dan.
Yesterday I tattooed very loose skin in an arm. When I shade, no matter how hard I press or even use black, almost nothing gets in the skin. That happens sometimes. What do you do with bad skin?
Well, one thing is make sure you stretch it properly. Sometimes your machine has to be stronger. That's also a sign of maybe the machine is not strong enough if it does not go in. But for me, I think usually it's stretching and the direction you are making the line, for example.
And again, it's same person with the bishop. Sometimes you have to put the needle out a bit more because it's
Yep.
It looks enough, but I don't know if it's a cartridge or the way it's built, but you need to do a bit of, and it might happen.
But be careful.
Yeah. But I would say inner arm could definitely be stretching. Yeah. And stretching the direction you need to stretch.
Yeah. Well, there's also ways to... what body part was it? Ooh, man. Usually that's not that hard to tattoo. Like the ink goes in really well, I think, most of the time.
I think if you're stretching wrong direction, you can...
Yeah, because that might be... One is machine's problem, other is stretching wrong, holding wrong machine, maybe the movement is not correct. So yeah, we have some. I think we have a video where we talked about this
skin stretching.
Skin stretching.
Or positioning.
Yeah. So do a little research. Go check out our video where we talk about this because I explained it.
And maybe I don't know where you work and what gear do you have, but maybe sometimes it's like if you have some weird armrest where you can't position person properly and you do some weird stuff, that can be, well, that's still stretching and positioning a person, but yeah, I think that could be that.
Yeah. What do you guys think about ignorant tattoos? What is that?
That's the guy whose design I stole. Stick figures and
I don't think about them personally ever. There was one accident with Yuris and one guy, and obviously it wasn't. I mean, then every old school rose is stolen, and it is stolen from.
Or stick figure. I think they are often more like personality driven than quality or creative aspect to it. And they're fun. They probably not that complicated to design considering what they are, and it's a all style now with all the trap music and little patchwork tattoos, so they are around and
yeah,
whatever.
well, whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is so many different things. Just you can love all of them.
What up? I made it. What up, Julius? Corwin.
Just can you read this? I shade motion fast back and forward.
My mentors say I need to shade in circles, but I know it's not good for smooth shade. But yeah, thanks, guy.
So that's shading part that's you're struggling with.
Yeah.
Huh. So can I ask you a question? Like, are you trying to pack it in, solid gray, solid black, or you try to shade it, whip shading? Oh, what's going on? How do you do? So fast back and forth.
Maybe you too fast, because I've seen some people that are like.
Well, you don't need to go fast back and forth, and it's like, I mean, what's fast for you? I don't know what do you mean by that, but sometimes shading with circles is working as well. If you, for example, put gray wash in it, you sometimes do circle movement. So it really depends how, and yeah, would be nice to see it.
Yeah, I think, but if you have a mentor who says certain thing, you should also kind of listen, because you at least you will know that standard, and then you add your own and try and see what works for you.
yes, it wouldn't go in it all inner arm. So it wasn't going in at all? Like, it sounds weird. Something's wrong. It shouldn't be like that. It's totally not because of the skin. Well, the skin maybe will make it harder, but every good machine would do it.
Especially if you have a packer.
Yeah. So I think there is something more than a skin problem here.
Or you are lucky to meet that one
There was one
Superman person.
Maybe that's like some superhero skin that can be even shot with a bullet. Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a day. Like, you know, sometimes you have those days where stuff doesn't fall in places. And
man, I can tell you that since I started tattooing, every skin is a little bit different. You never know what you're gonna expect during the years. You just kind of have this sense of, like, you look at the guy, you touch it, and you're like, ah, okay, I might know what's gonna happen. or you just check the age, or whatever. You have kind of like this feeling.
He says stretching might be the problem, because you can sometimes stretch, but you stretch wrong direction, and then when you go with other hand, you sort of push the skin back and it's not stretched anymore. So you have to try the opposite sides, do this stuff, that stuff.
Man, sad that your mentor can't help you, because how can he be your mentor if he can't help you? That's sad. I hope you...
I heard rarely, but it was more like a healing issue. I think the customer was very sort of athletic, but not in a fair manner, so some roids were involved, and it was something to do with a lot of bleeding while tattooing. So when it healed, they all looked faded, but it was going in and bleeding kind of much. But I don't know. That's what I heard.
Yeah, well, these things, I mean... so I remember I had so many times when I was struggling to get ink inside. For example, like these shoulder parts, or where the skin is really stretching.
Do you use bug pin needles? Because sometimes you just need to switch to the not a 10 or 08 thickness of needle, but the 12, whatever. Because those skinny tight thingies sometimes somehow don't go in that well, especially if you use Elite and all that stuff.
Tattooing big people. Any tips for stretching the skin? I think, like, from my experience, I think they are easier to tattoo because the skin is already stretched.
Yeah.
But it's
on bigger person, these parts, it's like you can tattoo them one hand.
One hand, yeah.
These parts, you have to fold the stencil in and on.
Well, the skin is the skin is yeah, you have to go through the skin to get in the skin.
Simon Christensen, thank you. I will relax a bit with the question. Just frustrated sometimes, don't have anyone to ask. Just 5 minutes. Blah 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 blah. Well, book in a session with your favorites, then you know, and then you can see what they do.
Man, you can ask as much questions you want. It's sometimes hard to answer if you don't know exactly the situation. But please, we are here for helping you guys. That's why it's... wow, it's awesome to see you guys again. Much love from Canada. Whoop whoop.
Wow.
What's the time there? And how cold is it right now?
Canada is like Denmark of Americas. It's a country
Yeah, it's
where
like
everything is good.
Man, I love every time I tattoo some Canadian, I just love hanging out with him. So chilled and fun to be with him.
And together person.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, I made a deal with this Canadian printing company that makes prints, and it's called River Valley Printing Corporation. And you can guys buy my prints there if you're from States or Canada. I think it's a good way to buy one of my prints. Go check it out if you have time and interest.
Jeff says that 2015 Diamonds All's Dream Catchers was the Shasa. Not now 2020. It's tribal tattoos are hip again. I've not heard that much. I'm waiting. Every time I get like a little tribal, I'm like, yeah.
I love it. I think they are cool, but I don't think the hype is that big. I know there's some tattooers pushing it and tattooing more and more, but it's not like...
It's at this early hipster stage where it's like, you know, it might go out... It's like I had a mullet before it was cool.
Yeah. But I have tribals on my feet, both feet. I made it 2 years ago. Really love tribals, man. But not the shitty tribals that not the ones that comes from Soviet times. I like tribals that are made these days. They're strong.
It's 2:45 p.m. in Canada now, and it's about +7. Yeah, it's 8:45 in the evening, and temperature in Denmark is... It was 10 not too long ago. Yeah, 10 degrees Celsius. I paint and make flash and hope to get prints from them soon myself. There you go.
River Valley Printing Co. is amazing. Yeah, boy. I actually ordered print from them before they reached out with me, and when they told me that they want to make prints with my stuff, I had a little fanboy feeling. So I'm really happy.
Chris Smith message retracted. Oh, you can do that? Okay.
I was hoping you guys was in Nordic Ink Festival to say hello. Why are you guys not going there?
Oh, well, Carlos wasn't in the country, and I don't travel outside Odense. I'm a family person who works alone in a shop.
I was there with you many years ago.
I wasn't there. You were with Alan. It was like 5 years ago.
You were not there. Okay.
Oh, that was more than 5 years. That was in Phelan, so that's like 7 years ago.
7 years ago. I got best weird tattoo. No, it was second place. Sorry, I wasn't the first. That doesn't mean anything.
And you got something with the guy with the eagle on his stomach.
I got 2 nominations. Awards.
There's Shane asking. He's 40 years old and he's only been tattooing for 1 year. How would you recommend progressing in industry? Oof. Well, that relies on many other things, like because there are some people that are crazy skilled after 1 year and they have all the artistic background, so they don't need much. But at 40, I think it's harder than you go to some place and somebody who's 18 is itching at you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a long answer. Gravel travel. We were so drink at Noedik Inc. Carlos. That's Alan.
Yeah! I remember now! I remembered that I don't remember now a lot of things that I did, but there was some fun situations. I love it. Alan, where are you? I miss you, man. Come.
Could be.
You may be behind the door somewhere.
Pen and ink artists here, been using Procreate via iPad Pro for a while, and it's amazing. Can't wait to get my apprenticeship certification soon. Apprenticeship certification. Yeah, you see, that's interesting that in different places there's different rules and all sorts of certifications and whatnot, so that's interesting from country to country. I recently saw like one girl here, she works, she does very good like realistic stuff, and she's been in that shop for apprentice for like 3 years, but even after first year she was doing like pretty good realistic stuff, like black and gray. And then after 3 years she got sort of promoted, but promoted within the shop. So her boss gave her like a diploma. Now you are not apprentice, you are like a full-time artist. But it's one of those places where they pay salary, which means just you get paid more for same thing that you do. And that diploma, other shops will not recognize it. They'll be like, it's given you by your boss in that chain shop. Good luck. So those certifications also can be sketchy. That's what I'm trying to say. Greetings from Finland. Hey,
Woo, Finland.
Perkele.
Perkele. How is Finland, man? How is things there?
In temperature.
So, did you read the Tiger pen and ink artist being used? You did read it.
Alan's been climbing and his fingers hurting and I can't type. I'll be in Friday, man. We'll see.
Woo.
Alan.
Cool, man. So where are we? Didn't we miss any of comments?
I think not so far. It's
No, there is hello from America, Arizona.
Anthony plus
Smoothie
movie,
folk.
comic and music reviews. Ooh.
Love you guys. Love you back, my friend. Really good, active commenting today for our first real.
We will have to make people fight and throw in like super chats and be like, oh yeah, shout out to that guy.
So cool to see you guys again. Watching your stuff kept me sane during the lockdown madness last year. Love from Iceland. Whoop! I was once tattooing in Iceland. Icelandic Cooperation Shop or something. I think it was called like that. I was there for a week. I had really good experience. Sadly, I didn't tattoo a lot of Icelandic people, mostly Canadians and Americans, but it was still fun. And I love tattooing Americans and Canadians. They gave a good tip.
Also, it kept us sane making videos during lockdown. I heard that lockdown wasn't that bad in Iceland, but nothing is bad in Iceland except that volcano. Just got first snow. Perkele indeed.
So,
do I need to probably feel bad when I trace American traditional designs?
Depends where that design is coming from. If you're tracing it from proper old school tattooers like Sailor Jerry, I don't think you have to feel bad.
Yeah, if you have a flashbook, but if your flashbook is your mate's portfolio on Instagram, then it's a different story.
Yeah, of course it's better to try to change small things. For example, when I started tattooing, I was tracing it and after I trace it, I try to come up with a little bit that's from me. Changing it a little bit, that original design. So even the way you make the lines of eagle's wings or whatever, make it more sharp or whatever, every small thing will make it your own. So, but tracing is good and you can learn a lot from it. Just don't trace from my work.
Yeah, and you can always jazz it up, funky it up. Tell me more about how you feel about Bishop Facker. It's going for you. Everything, big liners. I don't line with it. I tried. It works on easy placements, and I've used it for up to 18 round shaders, and it worked. But it's slower than what I'm used to, and it's with the good cartridges. So that's very important with stable cartridges, and then you have to every time when you change a brand, you have to figure out the length that it works at and all that. So it's I think there's a reason why it's Packer. People say it's all rounder, but it's if you look it up, what other artists work with it, you see it's amazing work. So when you say that machine tattooing good, of course it does. Look it up and people do crazy stuff. Will it work for you? That's a different story, because people pull lines at different speeds. People, like, you look any of those tattoo shows, I know a guy who does piece like that in like 2-3 hours, and then you see on that show and they work on it for 8 hours. So like, you can maybe hand poke that piece in 8 hours. So it all depends on various reasons.
And I also talked yesterday that when you buy a new machine, you have to give a try for more than one tattoo, sometimes it takes 2 weeks, sometimes a little longer. Maybe choose wisely which tattoo you're gonna do with that machine. But yeah, you have to kind of get used to things. You can run machine and from the first try you think it's the best thing ever.
And also, if your shop provides needles, then obviously it's the most comfortable to use what you have for financial reasons, but maybe it's a good idea to invest into some needles just to try to see, like I don't know, you see, oh, my favorite artist is working with that type of needles, so try those and maybe it will work for you. Or even now, like if you check your email spam box, there's a lot of these Asian companies that offer you samples, and some of them are surprisingly okay needles. So that's another thing, that not only the machine, there's another element involved, including inks. I don't think you can get bad ink now. The same with cartridges, are not really bad, but some are better. So that would be something to look into. And if that doesn't work, then probably it's something to blame yourself in, which I often do with myself, considering that I'm playing with a lot of different tattoo machines.
There is a question, how to get sponsorship for tattoo supplies, and do you guys have it? I think one of the things is you have to have a lot of followers on Instagram. They will reach out to you. What do you think?
That's one thing, is your social media game should be on point. Not like crazy, but at least on point, because from already couple of thousand followers, like 2,000 to 4,000, you already something. If you have around like 10, you are already some sort of macro influencer. I think is from 2,000 followers. So there's companies that have these like sets that like from this 1,000 to this 1,000 you are macro influencer, then you are micro influencer, so that's already a number. But then you have to be also either super good, or you have to be in communication, like, because I know that some dudes who got sponsorships just because they went to booth on a tattoo convention that was like, let's say Starbright, and they just like, oh, I need some ink, and then they chat, and then you happen to win some prize, and you are already connected, and they're like, let's give it a try. We are not sponsored. Tattoo Shop Talk gets a lot of stuff for reviews, so that's also not a bad thing. Companies also offered like, we can sponsor you if you want to, but I'm not really interested in just getting cartridges from one company and then put on every post like, oh, this and this company. And if we will get some sponsorships that's not for so far not tattoo supply related, then we will just put it out, as you should on channel, that this will be sponsored, because extra income is not a bad idea.
For sure.
For tattoo supply sponsorships, what I heard, often it's just they give you like certain amount of needles or certain amount of inks in a year. Obviously, probably if you're really good, you get more stuff, more like some sort of merch stuff, or maybe you even get paid. But often what I want to point out, many put that it's like sponsored by this and this supplier, and that really means that by putting that out there, you get like 15% discount or 10% discount on the stuff, and that's not sponsorship, that's just a discount. Like, you can wait for a certain day of a month where any supplier will have discounts. So that's just bum holes being braggy about stuff.
I have a good question for you. Do you guys still use that radioactive UVC lamp of death to clean the shop, or is it more trouble than it's worth it? Because fading of print on walls.
Have not noticed that. I used it every now and then. I don't run it like daily, but if I will see a spider in a corner, I'll be like, I'll get you. So I will run that lamp in that corner.
Lamp of Death.
And
That's a good band name, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And every now and then I drag it back home. If like we had once some sort of carpet bugs that bit my kid, I was like, I have a solution. Radiated the room, obviously aired it out, blah 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 blah. And yeah, and I have the little tray where I throw in pens, and sometimes I like would be like this with my machine, like I am now, and then I would wipe it down, and then like for a peace of mind, I'll throw it in a little box of UVC. So, and the big one, I like the smell. Well, I don't want to be around it when it happens, but you come in next day, you're like, this place feels. I like the smell of radiation in the morning. What needles was it that you recommend? Cards I'll try. I have to try Da Vinci. They're very expensive. Da Vinci's I like. I like Tatzel's traditional line for lining and those blue Emala cartridges. Yeah, that's the top three I can tell from the top of head. T-Tech Generation 2, but they are a bit tighter than others. And now there's this new company, they sent me stuff, the Inklo. I can't vouch for it yet, but they have a thing where they have membranes with 3 different resistance things. And they say that for bishop type machines, the packers, you want to have tighter membranes. I don't know what it does, I have no idea. But the fact that it's there, I will try and I will let you know. But yeah, there's some options to look into. That's all you can get from Barber DTS. Emala you can order from Emala. And what else was there? Yeah, T-Tech from T-Tech. And the rest is what you hear. Like I said, many people are fans of Quadron, and from what it looks like, all the Asian companies try to copy Quadron because they're like the cool kid on the block. Many even have similar looking stickers, but from what I know, they are all made there. So probably they made on the same machine, just in different color, and they're like, this is our new brand.
There's a good question. How do you think social media affects the design process of tattoos? Like the expectations of the customers relating color and scale, the possible fame for the artists regarding trends.
Yeah, it's what you said. Trends are out there, like, you know, you feel this stuff where like suddenly some celebrity got a tattoo there, or some stuff got trending on Pinterest and everyone's coming in with certain types with like the flowers on the side, you know, peonies and all that red snake thing.
But I mean, when you are you are a tattooer, you can explain to the customer if you feel like something is, you can do something better or whatever. I mean, you're the one who shows the person the way. I think every tattooer has to work so they can make something that they like more.
And
not like, you know,
and
make a
also
good job.
With unrealistic expectations, I had once a customer asking, she said, I had this tattoo, but then when it healed, it was way bolder, and like it was like this on the picture. And then I had also some small tattoo that I done recently, and I just showed her, like, you know, this is Instagram. I took the same picture, desaturated, contrast, take all the like saturation off, and it looks 3 times skinnier, because like, you know, it's the filter game, because you can also explain that I can make your tattoo look like that on Instagram. I wrote an example about theme and interviews with German artists, so more international will be interesting. Are social media accounts necessary to these? Yeah, like I get 70% bookings through Instagram, I think, maybe 10 Facebook, 10 email, 10 phone calls, kind of a thing. Social media is very important, and also, like, for an artist, you want to push your own style. for a shop, depends on the situation, because sometimes people are like, do you even do small designs? And like my shops don't do big designs, and I'm like smaller than what we do. So, but social media presence is important. As for Germany, I want to mention that also with that, like, it looks better than life. Germany had 10, maybe more, 15 years ago, those tattoo magazines that were like you open them and the light shines them. All pictures were so edited, like the alien looked like bright blue and all that. It was like impossible. So maybe Germany have that oversaturated trauma from back in the days, and they try to be more down to earth now.
Yeah. So I will read the next one. How do tattooers feel about other working tattooers who don't have any tattoos themselves? I mean, whatever. But sometimes we have a joke that dentist without teeth is like tattooer without tattoos. Of course, it's just a joke, and some tattooers are amazing tattooers, and they don't have any tattoos. So, I mean, it's...
We had a guy in one shop who's like, he didn't have tattoos at the time, and everyone was kind of like, so how do you feel without like a tattooist without tattoos? And he's like, yeah, but brain surgeons shouldn't have a stroke to be a brain surgeon. He's like, you don't want your brain surgeon to have had a stroke, you know?
Yeah, in the first place.
And eventually they get there. I think sometimes they are so into that, like, oh, my art and this art, and they look up to these crazy artists, so they just like, they overcomplicate it for themselves, I think. And then they get it, and it's all good. I just think whatever. Like, really, whatever.
Whatever, yeah, exactly.
Correct answer would be, how do tattooer feels about working with tattooers who don't have tattoos, who don't feel about it and don't think. It's just probably sometimes you would pull a joke.
Yeah, it's a good joke. But, I mean, as long as you're doing a good job, I mean. Of course, there is certain things that, how can you know if you don't, you haven't feel it on yourself, but you still can learn to do a good tattoo.
Jeff, what do you mean by they are leaking paint? Are they leaking it back in a machine, or it's just floods when you start to do a line? Just check, that's all cards is way cheaper than Elite, but that's all is better. I'll try. They're not cheaper. You're probably looking at the packs with 10 needles. There's 10 and 20 packs. Simon. Is the love-hate relation thing, or would you prefer the industry without social media and rest? Remember those amazing magazines with saturate?
Why? Why?
I love social media.
What? Since when people? I don't. It's.
This is social media.
Since when people started hating? I mean, there is, of course, there is a lot of things that are not cool, and people just use it wrong, maybe. But for example, I love to show my tattoos to the world. You know, I'm working hard, and it's sad to show it just to my girlfriend, for example. You know,
or tell my friend about
it. Yeah. So I want to show as much people as they can see it, and if some other tattooers do something that you are not a fan of, it's his problem. Just don't follow him then. You know, like, this is how I see things.
And like, I also can't really live up with all the trends. I'm not the type of tattooist who have 3 photo sessions and then 1 tattoo. And I think that's like, okay, you're a tattooist or a model, but on the other hand, if it works, it works, and it's not, I don't have to be that person.
I mean, there is this romantic idea of old school tattooing. I love all these documentaries about how it was, everything. I don't think, if from this kind of way of living, if I would go back, I would probably like this way better than
I don't want to
hustling
come into work, solder needles, have a hammer, fix my machine, have a customer be like, okay, I'll be back in 20 minutes, cut some stencil into fucking plastic plank, come back, then fight with the customer because he's some drunk sailor and he puked on my only photo portfolio book. So I think this is way better. There's actually interesting podcast of the Books Closed, and they were kind of trying to, it felt like they're trying to go at some tattooists who do those small tattoos, and they're like, yeah, but because they were big on Instagram, and guy said, he's like, yeah, I did study on Instagram, it's easier to see small piece, that's why people stop by them, follow them, then they go on some Reddit trends and it gets popular. So I think people should be more upset at themselves that they didn't do what those other people did and got popular. So maybe they sent a design to, like, I don't know, Vice or some Reddit post, and I think it's even like shouldn't even talk about it. It's like, I don't understand, like, check out my shop Tattoo Audience on TikTok. Also check Carlos's profile on TikTok. I tried to find something that I can relate to on TikTok to follow, and I was like, this is just horrible. And there's these big profiles who do these funny, like, these things, and like
it's
all that
the
stuff.
worst.
And like, you try to find tattoo shops and all that, and it's just some silly stuff, and I'm like, I don't care, I wanna get something out of it. But that's my problem, you know.
No, exactly. So we are a little bit behind the schedule. So
what's up from Kentucky? Ooh, how do you guys feel about filtered? Some artists make their photos just to bring people to their shop only to find them mediocre. Well,
this is the similar kind of...
You play internet game by internet rules.
This is tricky. There is a lot of shops who do these tricky advertisements and do these crazy price... what do you call it? Like deals. Yeah, and then some people just get tricked. But I mean, this is with everything. Even Coca-Cola drops some tricks on you. So it's like up to you if you see the difference or no. But you have to just focus on what you want to get and kind of recognize what's off. Of the
Jeff, it floods, cartridges floods. First thing, try to pull needle a bit more in. That helps sometimes, or it's just a brand of cartridge that have a bad ink flow. You can try the brands I mentioned before, or try T-Tech Generation 2 that have those weird capillary systems. Also, Cheyenne copied T-Tech's thing one by one, and actually like invented it, but Cheyenne is way more expensive. But either it's needle length or a brand of cartridge just have dodgy ink flow.
Oh man.
Halina Tattoo, I think artists that filter the pieces on social media to that give potential clients unrealistic expectations if they are now getting tattoos. I did episode with Uldis, and we put at the end a really big name in realistic tattooing, and that tattoo is still on the guy's portfolio. It's this super bright, vibrant portrait of dude's son. Stefan, remember?
Yeah.
And like when he showed us that tattoo, it looked like Scar. You're like, you have to look like this into it. I have on that video at the end, and that guy still has it on his portfolio. He said if you want it to stay like that, you have to have like 7 sessions or something like that. So it is what it is. Like often those bigger, braggier people will just say like, yeah, you want that, you have to come back here like 10 times.
Yeah.
Tattoo Truth Fairy is an account that is not that active anymore, but they had all sorts of fun examples where they could even tell that, like, oh, I can see in this corner of picture they use this Photoshop blur tool to smoothen out inks. But again, you play internet by internet rules, so I would say being upset about it is... I understand the frustration, and yeah, I'm just lazy. Like I don't do it because I'm lazy.
Yeah, you're not lazy. I don't believe in you.
Because like, you can always Photoshop pictures and all that. I think it's also not too bad. It's not too bad. 'Cause
Sorry for the.
we have a.
I have a little
electricity
problem. Where can I? How can I help you myself? Sorry, a little technical break. After that, we're gonna get back to your questions, and there is one beautiful question already waiting for me to read it. I think next time we will be more well prepared.
This is potential disaster. Oh,
Thanks God.
back from the break.
So Mario Roof. I'm young tattooist too. I grew up with it and I see a lot of positive effects like inspirations reaching customers. The interviews just had a lot of mixed opinions about social media. Exactly.
Like I talked to a guy that I work with in Ibiza. He's been tattooing I think close to 30 years now. And he said it's actually cool because back in the days we could never imagine that you could have a pocket-sized computer where you can go online and get all the inspiration and references and all that. Back in the days, you either buy a magazine or at the early days of internet, you sign up for some weird forums and then you get what you get there. And like, now you can go on every artist's page and see what they do. Back in the days, if you want to get reference of their work, you have to go to convention and like secretly take a picture of their work. I heard that the people were taping their portfolios down to tables so people don't steal the pictures. Now you go on Instagram and...
Yeah, obviously it's easier to steal it and whatnot, but if you're afraid of someone stealing your work, you probably don't post it, right? What do you think?
Again.
But it would be silly. Yeah.
Feel flattered if there's this one guy who takes all the Google first page references and then somebody else does same work and he's like, oh look, it got stolen. But if you Google future apocalypse, it's the same reference. If you put Jack the Ripper, it's the same. So it's like it's a really long stretch to pinpoint what's good, what's bad. I mean, if you do malicious thing and you feel malicious about it, that you're like, oh yeah, I stole it, but F that guy, it's not a good move. Or if somebody's like, oh, that's that dude's work, and you're like, no. Or there was one article where he basically took another guy's sleeve by other artist, break it into pieces, and was going to conventions and do like this part on one guy winning a prize, that part of
yeah, that's next level.
And I heard in like, I think the guys were from Ukraine, they said you go on a convention and it's like, who's gonna copy whose work better? Because you can see there's a guy, local tattooist tattooing local guy, and references some big name tattoo from the global network. So that's kind of a weird.
So there is a question for you. Does that new wireless Inkla machine you're holding lines better than the Bishop wand? I need to buy backup machine, not sure what to get.
This one, I don't line with it, but it feels the same. It feels the same, and it's good for color packing and shading. And Carlos has something to say about coloring with this machine, even though he used to be a dull machine hater.
Grown-ups toy.
Yeah, adult toy.
Adult toy. Well, this is the thing. Back in when I just started, I was one of them tattooers who were like, only coils, no, nothing else. Then you grow older, kind of get wiser. Open the doors to new things, and it definitely helped my tattoos look better. So don't be afraid to try new things. And then we move to the next question.
I just want to point out that for hygiene reasons, you can pack it and you can remove this part where cartridge clips in. They also have other machine. I reviewed the yellow one. That's more like a typical pen type machine with connection, because this is with the battery grip. It's a funky one and it's heavy. The other one is more like a typical pen type machine that you can take apart, sanitize, blah blah blah. You have to get used to buttons on the thing. It feels weird, but once you live with it, like it feels weird for, like, I think for at least European hygiene rules, but then you kind of realize that it makes as much sense that as many other machines, and it's a fun machine and it works. So that's what I could say.
So,
but not for lines. I say I don't line with rotaries that comfortably.
Martin Pasta. How much time does it take to learn lining properly? Lines are not so clean and straight as I would like to have. Depends of a person, probably.
Still learning?
And I mean, you can always get better. You don't have to see this. It's up to the person, and also what kind of people around you tell you what to do, what not to do. Personally, I learned lining pretty fast, like decent lining. Maybe you're too judgmental and it's good. Maybe your lines are perfect. That's why I think it's a good idea that we could do some reviews of tattoos. For example, if you want to show us something, send us, and then we're gonna do a new live stream and we can review that thing or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's a future plan.
And for lines, again, it's the
stretching,
but also what's good line for you, and because I've seen some reviews where people are like, oh, I use this machine for lining, and you're like, this one? And then you look at the stuff they do, and they only do lines when they put like hairs in some portrait type of a thing.
Yeah.
Or I googled YouTube. I was like, maybe there's some tutorial and I will learn something. And I was looking about lining, and I was a guy like, this is how you do good lines, and you look at it and like, those are not good lines. But like in that work, what he does, that line is good for that type of stuff that they do. But when you just look into it, you're like,
also, there is a lot of things. I mean, there is some needles that I'm struggling to make a good line, and then there is some machines that I would struggle to make a good line. So it's like there's so many things that plays together. So you have to learn what needles are the best, what machines works for you the best,
what customer is the best.
Yeah, what customer, how the skin is working. So it definitely, from what I see, usually takes around 1 year to decent.
To know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Birute ever thought of making this into podcast? Like, I think once we starting to do this type of a thing, we can look into it. Podcasting really never had a reason for it. One customer said because he don't have YouTube Premium, which is weird, people don't have, that he would rather listen it on some podcasting platform. It's just another thing to do, and since this is not only thing that I do, it could be a bit tasking, but from what I understand, it's just one of the services that I need to apply, and once we have the situation going somewhat smoothly, and we can maybe learn to talk without much editing, because we are not native talkers in English, so we get a lot of ums and ums, and sometimes we mix up words. So it might happen maybe in a not too far future.
Simon is asking, stencil stuff versus, don't know how to pronounce, versus others. What you guys use?
You use stencil stuff? You use stencil stuff, right?
I use everything that shop gives me. I don't see a problem in any of them.
One colleague recommended me a thing which I think it works, but maybe it works because I want it to work because I think it works. And you take stencil stuff and the green electrum, but the green electrum is very slimy type of a thing. So you kind of mix it in with stencil stuff, put like quarter to half of it, and it kind of feels more sticky and kind of stays a bit better, but that's maybe just me telling that to myself. But stencil stuff is fine, and I hear all these brands and I'm like,
well, how can it be even better?
Like, yeah, why fix what's not broken?
Yeah.
There's one brand that looks like honey.
And yeah, someone's even telling about it.
Yeah, and it creeps me out because I don't like sticky stuff on myself. I don't know what is it. And if I would have to smear on people something that looked like honey, it would just, like, I would not feel comfortable.
Yeah, the Jusk Fool said both good. I heard that honeybee stuff is also nice. Well, now you heard.
Yeah. And the honeybee stuff, another thing, I commented on some guy's post about it, that like it's just waiting for accident to happen where your colleague will be like, oh, honey, and pour it in some coffee or tea. Yep. It looks dangerously
tasty.
Yeah.
Hello from Riga. Silva, hey, ciao, Kayet. Very interested to listen to you guys. Carlos made me a traditional Japanese dragon tattoo on one of
the best time of my life. Take care.
I'm super happy to hear it from you, and I'm happy you're watching us. Sorry that you had to wait so long for us to read your comment. But
Simon, thoughts on Bishop one-liner? That's something I want to try. That's what one of my tattooist colleagues that I used to work with said, that it does magic. He said, I can't explain. He said none of the rotary pen type machines does it like one-liner does. Also, I heard that it's crazy powerful. It have that 5mm stroke, and it's so easy to mess up skin. That, like, I was trying to choose in between those two, and I chose Packer because one experienced tattooist told me it's easy to mess up skin, and she's so experienced that I was like, I'll better listen.
Well, there's a question for Carlos. That's probably me, right? Do you line your tattoo flash with markers, brush, or nib? What was nib? That thing with water in? No. Well, and why is it your preferred tool? I actually use whatever I have for me at that moment. I have been using brushes, I love it. I use markers, I love it. I use these black pencils, what was the name of it? I will tell you just right in a second. Uno secundo. These are pretty good. Stedler. I don't know if you can see it. Stedler pigment liners, they are good for smooth paper, but I mean, try to do more you try, more different ways you try, better your skills become, I think. And this is what I heard from one really cool tattooer back in days when I just started. He had the interview, and the guy told the listeners that try to draw everything you see, everything you want, and your skills will expand more rapidly than if you stick with just one thing. And that's what I did. That's why I never been afraid of just trying different stuff for painting,
No iPads for you.
No iPads for me, at least for now. I don't know, maybe one day I will go for that as well, but I don't feel like I want to. So, where are we now?
Do you guys take the coil machines for lining? Carlos, definitely. I do the in-between machines, the Cubans and Q-Luna. And on an adventurous day, when I feel comfortable, I would use like Bishops or Inklaws or whatever pen I have at my disposal at that time. Usually with smaller lines, I would more likely lean into pen type of a thing, just for comfort of use. I don't say that I sometimes don't regret that decision. So.
Guys, quickly send them more questions so they don't end the stream. Simon, you're killing it. You're the most active. I should send you my t-shirt for being so active. Maybe we're gonna arrange that in the future, man. I love to give people gifts from me.
I wanted to ask, is the Q machine as good as real coil for lines? Sorry for me. I think it's good. It can be confusing at sometimes. It's also I have rubber bands on there just to soften it a bit because it's pretty loud. Sometimes it have a hiccup when you don't have aligned the distance, so it's like the speed of the magnet that spins go a bit crazy. But I like it, and I like the simplicity of it because it's pretty simple. You use bigger needles, you put bigger magnets, fiddle around this thing. If anything breaks, you can get like magnets on Amazon. Screw is just a regular screw, so it's not like something breaks down and then you have to order. Like I have Dan Cuban's machine, and I just fear the day when something will go down and I will have no idea where to get it. So I think it's a good machine. I think, again, compared to, is it good to coil? I don't know what's your best coil you worked with, but it definitely, I loved my coils that I had while they worked, and once there's a little thing that went down, once the spring needed to be changed, it never been the same, and the Q's machine is just working.
Yeah. So the guy answered the Judge Full, the metal thing, the nib. Is that metal colorgraphic? Yeah, I have been using that, and I have expensive ones at home as well, and I love to use them, especially if you, so for example, if you use that nib, thanks for educating me, by the way. If you use that nib and you use the same black ink as you use for shading, the lines will be more dark than if you use, for example, the Stedlers or other markers or whatever. Usually that black ink is so dark that you actually can see the difference when the painting is finished, and it looks really good.
If you send me a t-shirt, I will post a pretty picture with it on, and I will frame it.
What?
Simon is just like, if you send me the t-shirt, I will post a pretty picture with it on, and I will frame it and put it on my wall on tattoo shop here in Aalborg. Promise.
If you're in Aalborg, man, next time I come here, I will leave one t-shirt, maybe. Well, I don't want to promise things here. You have to keep commenting also next time, and maybe if you remind me for next time I'm here, I might figure something out for you.
And it's not going to be too expensive.
Yeah, it's still gonna cost money. Well, there is your opinion about Injector machine.
If you're talking about the new one that looks like some space tank type of a thing, then I have no opinion, because I've just seen it online and it looks crazy. The Injector Flight Nano, I think it's V2 something, it's the worst investment I ever done. Like, I bought it, that's one of the few machines that I bought new, and I just have no use for it. I use it for small lines and maybe sometimes some shading. I updated the cam to 3.5 millimeters from 3.25. It did minimal changes, and you can't find 4mm cam, which I heard is the best one. You can't find it anywhere at the moment, and I have that machine just taking space. And it's all the, like, I already lost in first week, like, they have this plasticky branding on side, and I think with some tape it just came off. So I know many people swear by that machine, and they're like, I use it for everything, but for me it's like it just takes a space in drawer, and I hate that I spend 4,000-5,000 krona on it and added extra things, and it's like plasticky. It has LED light in it. It looks like some vape type of a thing. There's some things that come loose. I bought it, write in instructions, oh, if this happens then you have to tighten bolt. Like, you pay for 5,000 krona and you have to finish to put that machine together. It's like,
Yeah, man.
I've seen amazing stuff and I know people who love it, but it's definitely not for me.
Hello, Mr. Cool. You next, your favorite solid black ink. I know, guys, in my shop in Riga's Tinte. Give a follow to Instagram. Great shop.
Riga's Tinte.
Riga's Tinte. So yeah, they use lately black ink called Black Panther. Have you heard about it? And they say it's black. That's why they probably gave that ink a name, Black Panther, because it's black.
Is it vegan or it's made from
Probably it's, I don't know.
big cats?
I have no idea. Probably it's not. I don't know. But that is, I never tried it. For me, I use this. Can I show it?
Yeah, you're in Latvia. I'm in Denmark. This is green screen.
Dynamic. You probably guys know, those who work. So yeah, dynamic works for me. I like it. And by the way, sometimes I also paint with this.
I bought solid ink and it worked fine for me. I just bought it because I bought a kit. And
Yeah, well, some people say that, like, for example, Kurosumi black is fading faster and whatnot. I mean, it's definitely true, but
I think also, like, I think in past, well, 5 definitely, if not 10 years, those inks are reached kind of the peak thing.
Mhm.
And
yeah,
if somebody starts to look like turbo jet black super dark, I think that's already kind of a red flag where you're like, okay, what did you do there?
like I was laughing, like, how can you get more black than black, you know? But you can.
Well, there is this new materials that's crazy absorb.
Yep.
Like, but like whatever, I think often like, oh, I worked with that ink and it wasn't as black as it is now. It's more to your skill of working and it heals better instead of ink itself.
You guys are awesome. I have learned a lot from you watching your channel. Have you guys tried silver back ink? Have you tried?
Yeah, it's ink.
This guy tries so many things. It's like Wikipedia of the two things, you know. You use all.
I don't see anything that much different with it. I've noticed with some people's like works, it's sort of almost looks silvery, but I think that's the way they do it, and I think Andri Straum have done a good promotion to that brand, so that's why it's kind of it's I like that they have big bottles and they have these sets and they have the stupid black and all that, so it's kind of interesting to navigate. But lately when we tried to order, there was some inks out of stock and then like stupid black and then there was some other black, so it looks like there's some sort of rebranding going on or new series, so it's definitely not bad. And I think at this point it's more often who do you vibe with, you know, like you're like, oh, I like what that person does and they use that, so I'll use that ink. And there's still people using some crazy homemade pelican ink mixed with witch hazel and alcohol and whatnot and do good stuff. So it's yeah, it's good.
Tim Hendricks asked about brushes.
Tim Hendricks, time traveling Hendricks.
Oh, sorry, I can't see that. Do either of you have a preferred brand of brushes you use for flash painting? I love Da Vinci watercolor brushes. I love Amsterdam acrylic brushes, and that's what I'm using mostly. I bought some Japanese brush that I don't know the name because I can't translate. It's just those. And yeah, but I know that for Japanese paintings there is lots of cool Japanese brushes, but I can't remember the names. and I've been looking out for and searching for all kinds of brushes, and I can't find a proper Japanese brush. But I know a lot of old school tattooers using them, and it's almost like I have to ask them.
Yeah, I've used only the ones that local art shop said this is good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, well, I think.
And the squishy bottle with the brush with water that you.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't use that. That's one thing that I tried and I didn't like it. But I think with the brushes is like really simple. I really found this out by just trying them out. More expensive the brush, better it works, you know? It's just that simple. Yep.
When was the last time you saw a tattoo in real life that impressed you, and what was it?
Oh, in my shop in Riga, I'm getting impressed every day. Working with Emils, even with the new guys, and Jancis, Daniel Zars. Yeah, I mean, everyone is doing amazing work, clean work, and you can learn from them every day. So I'm like blessed with the opportunity to work with these guys.
I was on a tattoo convention here in the city, and there was a guy, like, the work was good, obviously, but he was tattooing that lady's leg for 3 days in a row. It was this colorful, vibrant, it was like face and giraffe, and I was just looking at it as like, you would have to pay me a lot of money for me to sit for 3 days, like, and probably for some medications, so I would be able. Because it's just like it was good tattoo, but it's just was like, wow, crazy people.
Hey man, this guy, this Simon, he's like on it, man. Give me t-shirt and I will give you 1/2 good apprentice tattoo. Ha ha ha. Dude, like
not a good deal.
I'm like running out of space, and the last spots I have left I want to keep for some. Maybe if we.
He's selling them on eBay. It's NFTs.
I don't want to, like, I try to be nice as possible. Maybe if the future will bring us to the beer together and we will have a little conversation. But, you know, you never know.
It has to happen naturally.
Naturally, yeah. You can't push these things.
Bah! He's throwing money at us.
What is that going on? It's like, for what? For t-shirt?
That's not how it works. No, he's just being kind.
Thanks, guys. That's Toad's Schwalbe. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly. What about realism tattoos against...
Thanks, Simon, by the way. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks, Simon. You're the best, dude. Come visit Yuris when you're bored. So, what about realism tattoo against badly?
Aging badly.
Yeah, aging badly.
They don't always do.
That's again another rumors about. It's like the same when you say colors are fading faster than black. It's like not necessarily. And also, if you do properly a realistic tattoo, I'm sure it's gonna stay there. Usually it's about the contrasts and
application.
Yeah. So yeah, man. I think if you do a good work, doesn't matter what style it is, it will be there for.
Like you have to know how to put it in, and then I know some dudes who do like that. It looks too dark in the beginning, but then when it's done, when it's healed, it actually is good. And
remember that realistic guy from Lithuania,
Eddie,
amazing dude, and he's pretty popular. But his style of tattooing is just amazing. He's doing realistic, but he's layering. Like he puts light,
small, high detail, but
first he puts like light shades. Then next session he puts a little darker, and then the end he puts the black.
And
areas.
he often would do like next session he would go over previous piece again, Yeah. I've seen some, like, I was on convention, some dude who had insanely blacks. And it was also one of them situations where he had like 7 sessions, and other dudes were like, it's cool, but I don't need it in my life.
Hello from Portugal.
Here in Germany, 2022, color inks will be banned in the same by you guys. What do you think? They will be banned all over the Europe, and it's most of the inks. It's just you, Germany, have Austrian fellows with IM ink. What I can say, go to... I'm not sure which camera is still the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
Save the Pigments, they're the guys who know the most. Sign the petition, give those guys hope to have more time to sort that situation out more easily. IM Ink says they already have inks for black and gray. They are fighting with amount of stock. Silverback, world famous ink, have posted that they will have stuff ready. So hopefully we will avoid some pirate situations and it will be all good.
Paul Saraiva. Hi, hello from Portugal. I love watching you guys. Hey, love back and thanks for watching us.
Oh, I bet it's warm and nice there.
I was there in August and I loved it. I loved it so much. I will definitely go back to Portugal one day.
Jesus Christ.
So, no problem. Love you guys.
Love you too. What is that?
Simon, you're a hero. You're a man. You're the real deal.
Yeah, useful. It affects all Europe. From what it looks like. Oh, you're saying that it affects... I guess you're saying. So we agree with you, yeah. Saying, because it just was on German, I think. But my Google translator did translate it, so... It's a European thing, yeah.
We're gonna see some new colors coming.
And we're gonna see some weird stuff popping up left and right, where there'll be those business guys who's like, I fixed the problem. I didn't.
Yeah, this will be interesting to watch. I'm more excited than than scared, because this is weird, man, how things change because of what I see. I think someone's just wanna bring cash to their pocket.
The good big brand conspiracy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting year. But I mean, I know some big name shops who will like, not like, you know, art is doing its thing, but just shops to their own traffic booking flat out people at home during lockdowns.
Yeah.
So this will not stop them at all, you know. I might be that one scared guy who's like, I don't want to lose my business, but there'll be... I think next year, if it affects without inks, it will feel like there's bees living around you. Yeah. From all the flats will be like...
Yeah. Oh, man. Paola. I pronounced it wrong, her name, previously, before. Yeah, Paula, thanks for your comments. And I didn't know Portugal have also cold weather.
Yeah, I think it's like plus 21. And they're like, oh, we're freezing.
How cold is it?
We will rebuild.
How cold is it, Paula? And, yeah.
Oh, there's another To Reshuttle. What, is it the same comment?
Schwalbe, das ist ne...
Okay, I get it. It was reply. Yeah. But Germany now is acting like a Britain. They're like, in Germany. It's in Europe, guys. We're together, so it's fine.
Yeah. Funny. Can I quickly run?
To the boudoir?
I have to give a phone call. I go to the phone booth.
Deflate the...
Sorry for leaving you guys. It's fun. I'll leave Yuris.
Ask me personal questions about Carlos and I will not answer them. So this is going pretty well. Way more well than expected. We were hoping tops 1 hour. We're leaning into 2 hours already. 9 degrees. Oh, that's like in Denmark. Paula, you are... yeah, it's cold there. Guys, you should make a video how to position customer like for optimal stretch. Isn't that important as well for more easy time? For some reason I think that we did a video, or maybe it was on a similar subject, but we have to come back on that subject because there was also multiple people asking about stretching funky places, like all the armpity bits and all back. So I think we have to do like what are complicated places to stretch and how to make life easier. But basically, yeah, it's positioning customer, make them stretch. Sometimes you take a pillow off so they're not like, if you're tattooing this area, you don't want their chin, so you take the pillow off. If you tattoo ribs, maybe they can do that stuff. I mean, there's some weird videos where people like lift legs up to have the back of thighs tattooed, but if there's a challenge, there's a solution. Tattoos are wrong and sinful. The real Cynthia. Yeah, I think they can be wrong and they can be sinful. So that's a bold statement. But God loves us all as we are, so I think we will see an afterlife where it brings us. Video about skin stretching on positioning customer looks like it's a high demand topic. On like what are complicated places to tattoo and how to fix that problem.
That's a beginning of everything, That's like the main. That's like the main. That's like the main thing. Sorry, the technical problem here.
What does adding weight to the front or back of armature bar do? Well, if you ask that question, I think you have the answer. Because we are not machine tuners or builders or anything of that nature. So
what's going on?
The question about adding weight to armature bar in the front or back, what does it do? I would say, I don't know what it do, but it means that you have, in 2021, you have too much time to do that. It's good to know, but we don't know. Tell us. God will real Cynthia says God will punish you both. Cynthia will punish all of us three.
Where did you get that comment?
It's held for review. Cynthia is going crazy. We're not gonna put it out there. She said tattoos are sinful and wrong. I said that might be, and then she's like, "Oh, God will punish you both." And I'm like, "Yeah, I think you are in the same cup with us." If
tattoos are wrong and sinful, she said.
Yeah.
I mean, I tattooed some Christians, by the way, and they are full on.
God say no to tattoos. Cynthia, God says no to judging people.
You're really arrogant if you think that God talked with you.
So what was our last conversation with the big boy?
With the big boss, man.
I mean, it's cool, but let's keep religion out of this subject. It's about tattoos, so.
And good times.
And good times.
Yeah, you read.
If I struggle a little with lines, sometimes with the packer, do you think it would be a good idea going back to blad, floor, liner, coil machine, but needle cards so much easier? I would say try it. Like with the good old needles, yeah, with non-cartridge needles, the flow is so much better. You put rubber bands, that needle is way more stable, because cards sometimes do all that thing. Sorry about the gesture, but it's about the cards. So I think, yeah, if you have that machine, it's like, come on. I think the Blood Pro liner is for bigger lines. So keep in mind that that what type of groupings it's meant for. So don't chop somebody up.
Oops, sorry for laughing. Hey, you can laugh as much as you can, as long as you enjoy your time with us.
We are all happy here.
Birut, you're killing it with the questions. I love it. Did you have a YouTube channel made any difference in regards to customers? Do you get more new and more informed customers just because of YouTube? I think YouTube in general makes people more informed, and also like social media in general.
Yeah, but we made this channel also because like you meet tattooists from different parts of planet and all complain about same stuff or all say the same fun stories. Everyone has customer who sits on the armrest. Everyone have a customer who's like, how much for a medium-sized tattoo? So we tried to make in the beginning for both like tips for tattooists and for customers. So in general, hoping that people will find it, it will make everyone's life easier, and it will teach a thing or two. I had, like, as a customer, I had one guy who was like, how did you find the shop? He's like, oh, probably some algorithm, your shop popped up on my YouTube, and I was like, I'll check it out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found down the line, few customers are like, I actually watch your stuff. They're like, they don't say it, but I'm like, oh yeah, I have this YouTube channel, and they're like, oh yeah, I know. But you said you had a bunch that came to you from.
Yeah, there have been situations in. Yeah.
Hello from Poland. Hey guys, I think if you are on a border side of Poland, then be strong.
Be strong. And how is the Poland doing? How is tattooing doing there? Is it possible to do add colors to black and gray tattoos? I normally don't do it, obviously. It is possible for darker colors, but it's never gonna be as good as it's clean. Yeah, so I would never do that, only if it's like a cover-up or...
No, I did a tattoo on a girl recently, and it was a cover-up, and then the customer decided that she likes colors, and we added colors, but it's obviously I promised that it's not going to be anything vibrant, but we also worked with all the like dark greens and all that, and I didn't take a picture, and I hated. I was so excited about that tattoo. But it was dragon, and yeah, we added greens. It's not gonna be as bright and vibrant as if it would be from.
But he's asking, like, pretty much all traditional tattoos are done that way. What way?
No.
It's different. It's different from black and gray to. I mean, when you make a strong contrast shading, it's different from just shade black and gray smooth shadings, for example.
Yeah, it's from black to gray, and then the color like black to gray with color, so it sort of crosses in that in between and goes to color.
Yeah.
And then that would in black and gray.
Maybe the question, maybe we didn't get the question, or but I understood that if you make a black and gray tattoo, what I see, black and gray is when you use a lot of gray washes, for example, or not even, just shade it a lot with the gray color in areas where if you would do color tattoo, you would put color, and if you make that area busy with gray, then it would be weird to put on top color if you decide to do it afterwards.
Clean color, no, black definitely looks different.
Definitely.
Well, black and clean color looks also good.
It's all about the contrasts, and when you put color on a clean skin, it's gonna be more bright and everything, and when you put on a side a black to shade out, it will just work
Bozink
better.
is from US.
Hello from US
To EU, DK.
We have a lot of people today watching and from all around, and you are commenting so much that I'm actually impressed. I didn't expect that the first video will be
Yeah, I'm overwhelmed.
active.
I thought we'll be like.
We were
okay,
planning 1 hour today.
We were planning, but I was planning like, we'll like in half hour we'll be like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what so it's like 2 hours around now, and
It keeps on going.
it keeps
and
on
enjoying
going.
it.
Yeah, I mean, at some point we have to end this. But so far so good.
We promise that not more than 3 hours. So if you can keep on.
I'm going back to Philly.
Philadelphia. Oh, it's like that spread cheese.
Man, I wish I'm going there one day.
To US?
To Philly, Delphi. And also I really want a guest spot in States, in US, because I think that country is so rich with old school tattoo history.
Well, part of history came from that part of the world.
And I think a lot of people from US really likes traditional tattooing, and that's...
Actually, it's quite interesting, again, if you are on some international, like Facebook forums or something, where people are like, yeah, I'm licensed, and that dude is not licensed, and, like, we're in Europe, we're like, we don't know what you're talking about, like, and there's even rules in between states, and then I'm licensed by this, and I have this certificate from that, and you're like, whatever, okay.
Yeah.
Philadelphia Tattoo Convention in February 2022. I think February 22 for traveling is a bit early due to all the, let's say, what it's called. There's a panda and a mic, like pandemic type of a thing. So I think travel to other part of planet is so risky. I mean, but Carlos is an adventurous person, and he's so tall he can step over an ocean. So.
Yeah, I will walk there. Yeah. How is the situation in Philadelphia? Your nickname is Buzz Inc. Are you a tattooer? And if you are, where are you working? And if you do work somewhere, tell me how is things there? Hello everyone, tattoo fam.
What's up, fam?
What's up, fam? What's going on? Oh, this is hard work, man. I might quit this soon. Because,
we have to get the old people chairs
like the one that's... What do you call these chairs with the...
Rocking chair.
Right, yeah. The cowboy chair. So yeah, we ran out of...
Questions? We did it? We finished the game?
We finished the game? Did we?
It's great. I have appointment today.
Perfect. Do you do traditional tattooing? One to two a day, that's a good thing. I think you don't overwork yourself. You can focus on one piece a day, and I think it's healthy. Of course, more work, more money in your pocket, but sometimes it gives you just hard time to sleep.
That's great appointment today. Is tattooing super busy over there for you? For Carlos.
What is the question?
Is tattooing super busy over there for you?
Busy enough to stay busy. In Denmark, I'm coming for guest spots, and I have good times, good old customers. And in my country, in Riga, in Latvia,
It's lockdown.
it's lockdown right now, but when we are open, we are always busy because the shop is pretty popular, and I get a lot of work also from the shop. So there is people coming from my Instagram, from those who follow me, and then also from the shop. So I'm blessed. I can't be more happy.
But in general, in Denmark, seems that it's like a quiet season, because it's like we're doing fine. We also like kind of tattoo and piercing shop, so that situation keeps us busy. But you see, there's a lot of those deals that are getting better and better. So it looks like some shops are getting pretty desperate, because you see just sponsored post after sponsored post, and everyone has walk-ins and sudden cancellations. So I think it's just time of a year, because like, you know, people have to save money for Christmas, and they ran out of the... Whoa, buzzing!
What's going on, man? I didn't know there's this kind of option even.
Thank you very much.
How are we gonna split the money?
We'll fight. We'll fight.
Yeah, I think Beirut asks a great question again about...
I do tell types. I really like color realism. Color realism is crazy.
Where are you?
That's the buzzing. Says I do all types. I really like realism.
Color realism. That's a skill that I never tried, and I will probably never gonna get into it because it's
Simon asking, is you tried dynamic triple black? I have not. Have you tried? I know that.
No, but my guys in the shop tried.
And
it's darker.
Okay.
But it's, I mean, it's not like it's easier to work or anything like that. It's just darker.
There's a question. Why do people get tattoos? Like, for many reasons. It's cool. It's cool now. Like that would be 100%. For some it's meaning. For some it's like it symbolizes something. Bless you.
You skipped Beirut.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific and different about tattooing elbows from other parts of the body? For sure it is. Every body part is different. You have to kind of learn every body part tattoo differently. Elbows is all about stretching properly. I think every body part is all about stretching and positioning properly, and you have to find a way to do it so it works for you.
Also, there's kind of overhyped thing that like, oh yeah, elbows hurt like crazy, and then when you tattoo elbows, people are like, it was fine.
Yeah. She's talking about pain?
No, I'm just saying that I've noticed that everyone's like, oh, elbow, and then you do elbow and they're like...
Yeah, well, sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's harder, but it's definitely, if you stretch it properly, it's gonna be easier.
Hello from Denver, Colorado. So cool to catch you live. Hey back, Ruth. So once again, thanks to Pose Inc. Posing, bless you guys. DM me on Instagram Sunday. Let's show this message.
We have the coolest job in the world. We got paid to draw on people. Hey man, yep, I can disagree. I think that's also one step closer to the art world. I always wanted to be an artist when I was a kid. Then when I got older, I got smashed. My dreams got smashed by older people who told me, wake up, you artists don't make money. And then you get into tattooing, and now because of tattooing I can also paint and do my artsy stuff.
Actually, my other colleague, she said she's actually sometimes make money with actual art. She draws like a portraits, caricatures, and it was like first time was like, oh, you can actually make money with art without tattooing, because mostly it's like, oh yeah.
I did make money in lockdown doing artsy stuff, painting, t-shirt designs for some companies, or logos, company logos or whatever. So yeah, I mean, if you push yourself, and again, the social media helps.
Griffin Henderson, is the money good in that tattoo business? Not fantastic, but it's all right. Pays bills.
What in where in tattoo in general in tattoo business?
Yeah.
So for some better, I think realistic tattooers make much better money than old school tattooers.
I think he's being one of those entertaining people. It's like, where should I get my first coil machine from? Workhorse iron?
Lithuanian irons, workhorse irons. That was where I got my first machines. Where are you? Where? How far are?
Money is as how to say?
Okay.
It's not as good as you imagine it will be, but it's not bad.
Paula, I love drawing. That's why I'm giving tattoo a chance and I'm having fun. Our body is just one more canvas. Yeah, well, when I started tattooing, I was tattooing only my friends, and that's how I started, just showing people that I'm doing something. That's one way to start. Another way, and probably the best way to start, is to get apprenticeship, because you will learn faster.
Simon is asking, he was lining with the 11 liner knee, and then when he got closest to the knee, it looked more like 7 liner. So it means that he probably didn't get the whole thing in.
Yeah, probably that's a problem. Usually when knees in general, I think when you make lines on knees, they kind of get a bit thicker than normally on the skin. But
and also you have to keep in mind with the thicker needle, the angle, because like if you, this is the needle, so like if you start to change the angle, sometimes maybe just half of it would get in, and that could affect it.
Yep.
Then obviously again the stretching and all that, but the bigger the needle, the more you want it, the whole thing go in, because you can do like this and that and change the angles, and that can affect. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but that's what I've noticed.
man, I think you will love this one. My tattoo asks, at what age did you start looking at tattoos thinking they are cool? This guy, I think, was like the... you touched it pretty quickly.
No, but it was like it wasn't
Magazines.
like 13 or something. It was like 16, 17 when the bands and all that was a thing. And when you see cool dudes in the city center in like with lowrider bicycles and a tattoo there and piercings, and you're like, oh, that's a thing.
My godfather had tattoo from army, and that tattoo looked so ugly that I thought, if these are tattoos, for sure I don't want to get them.
I think my godfathers had some prison shit, but it was just like,
but when I remember the day when I saw first old school traditional tattoo in real life, and I was just blown away from what I saw. And the guy who made that tattoo ended up being my master for a few months. And actually a few months, but he taught me a lot of things, and I'm really grateful that he did that. Gave me an opportunity. So
that's orphan irons mentioned.
That's the spirit.
Very young when my mother said that he on a holiday, and I screamed and cried because I wasn't allowed in the studio. I wonder where did she get it? Was it like European or some Hawaii type of thing? Do you use high voltage on pen machines when lining? I do more than most, except on Bishop, because I fear to break it because it's an expensive one. That's where I can feel the most closest to what I'm comfortable with, but they often look great, and when they heal, you're like, yeah, I'll go over it again. So, like I said, I have not found a pen type machine that I would vouch for lining. These heavier ones actually are a bit better because that weight does half of the job for you and it pushes it in.
Yeah.
What angle do you tattoo at? thought the bigger the needle grouping, some people lay machine almost down and push the needle slowly. Again, my mentor, I don't know, like it's just from the common sense. If you have bigger surface area with needles, the more you want to get all of them in instead of doing all that stuff. Personally, I tattoo on an angle that I should tattoo on a better angle. Every time I tattoo, I'm like, why I'm doing this weird shit.
I think that the angle shouldn't be too much down. You have to kind of point it more into the into the skin. I don't know how to say it. You know,
It has to be kind of like this.
a little bit angled. If I do this movement, then it can be a little bit. So the needle is going like this in it.
Yeah, but the bigger the needle, like if you start to do this, you'll get like half
Well,
of
you
the needle.
you can't do like the angle like that. You still have to go pretty off, but a little bit bend it. I would say a little bit, and then bzzz, something like that. So yeah, yeah. Hello from Argentina. Cordoba, Argentina. Holy moly, that's pretty far, huh? How is Argentina doing? How long did it take to learn the perfection of needle depth? Again, like I think it's like 1 year when you start to figure out what's what.
And then 10 years to remember it.
Yeah.
Paula been 5 or 6 when she started to
When she saw.
scribble on my dolls.
Oh, what? Ah, yeah, draw. Well, I understood.
Yeah.
Actually,
I have a daughter, and she's since day one, she was drawing on herself, and we're like, we can't tell her not to draw on herself. But our rule was, don't draw on your face, because
Yeah.
we don't have anything drawn on them.
man, when I was in the secondary school, I was drawing on kids, my classmates, and they were giving me candies, and I didn't even think about tattooing. I was just like drawing my weird characters on them. So there is some kind of similarity in there.
Most commonly used needle setup for old school traditional style. 9? 11?
For me, 9.
I
Back in days, I used a lot of thick lines, but now I realize it's better to use thin lines because it ages better. And the only thing, if you do thin lines, the design has to be really well drawn. If you do thicker lines, it has to be more simple, more.
I like those 8, 9, like what they traditional bold liners from Barber. They just a bit more open.
I use this right now, mostly. Pretty much these are the only lines I use. And if I want to make, for example, back piece with them, I take a lighter and I blow up them a bit.
Needle depth. Love the XO40. XO, I don't know what it is, but I guess it's a tattoo machine. It's not easy to get a studio to learn.
To learn and practice, nobody wants you. So learning on the line has
Online.
been good. What do you guys think about those tattoo schools online? No, I don't like them.
I think tattoo school, it kind of like promises that you finish the school and use something. I think it should be like if you take a course, it's fine. It's not gonna harm you. It will add to your knowledge, but it's not guaranteeing that you understood everything correct. That doesn't give you like. I like when tattooists who's good tattooists, but they take extra courses and they add to their skill set. But just from zero, I think you might be disappointed in yourself when you will have too high expectations that you're like, oh, I heard this and that, and now I know this, and yeah.
Yeah, man.
And you don't know which one is good and which one is bad.
Yeah, it has to be more personal. When you learn something, you need someone who's behind you. Hello from the UK. What's the best stencil solution you have found to use? All kinds of ways. I think we talked about it, right?
Yeah, stencil stuff, or now I am experimenting with mixing a bit of that green electrum stuff into the stencil stuff, so it does some magic, but it's not as slimy.
Yeah,
as
like Simon just commented. Simon, you're good. You should you should help us out with the comments. Yes, sir. Tattoo machines.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well. Yeah. People love all sorts of machines, and there are so many that like it's so hard to follow. Like you go on forums, people are like, "Oh, Bishop." You're like, "Okay, Sigma." You're like, "Okay, there's another one." Somebody's like, "Oh, Valhalla is the best," and then you see a crowd coming in. Yeah, my Valhalla. I'm like, I learned a new name word today.
There is a question I can answer. Van Gautus. I love tattoo flash designs. I'm not so good to come up with ideas. So to come up with ideas, you have to train your idea muscle. That's what I figured out during the years. More you're gonna experiment, more you're gonna draw from your imagination based on the things you already did draw back in weeks ago. You mix them together, you come up with more. It's like learning words. You figure out one thing, you learn it, then you come up, you go to the next thing, you learn it, and then you start to mix these things together, and that's when you come up with your own ideas. It's all about just learning new things, you know, like words, like language. This is the same thing. So work on it, and at some point it's gonna come to you.
I did. I don't have time now. I did browse these, like, you know, on Shock Mansion page, there's this random radness where it's just random cool pictures, and you see something beautiful, and you're like, I'll turn it into tattoo design. You know, it can be a lady with a firearm background, or it can be a boat or a snake or whatever. So you're like, oh, this could be a cool tattoo.
Yeah. I actually want to answer to Paula about the apprenticeship. Like, I think if you want to get a job in a tattoo shop, and that's for like every new tattooer, if you really want to start your career, like, first thing you have to do is to make your portfolio. And probably one of the ways to do it is to not always it has to be tattoos in your portfolio. If you're a beginner, you do tattoo designs, you make them as good as possible, and you make a good portfolio, and then you go to shops and show your work. And I really believe that some of the shop will need an apprentice.
Or just see how you get on, because maybe you're already friends with some shops, and you can like help out and be around and help with designs and all that stuff. Like we had a girl here where she was just like, I just want to help out, I want to see what it is, and there was some point where you're like, okay, you're in, like you already kind of know the shit. So it depends what your also relationship is with shops, because if you just walked out of your flat and I'm looking for stuff, maybe look around, go have a talk, ask, get a tattoo in some place. Maybe you'll be like an apprentice in a place where you will hate the place. Like, you know?
But the main thing, like, start with the base, with the start, with the portfolio, figure out what style you do, just learn a little bit drawing it, and make sure you're ready to enter the shop. Do you guys ever have days where you feel like a tattooer? Or is it too personal? Question. It's not too personal. I think every tattooer I've been talking, everyone feels like that. Yeah. And that's the way to learn.
And if you feel great all the time, then there's something wrong with
it. You have to feel a little bit about your work. Even if it's... I think it's important to understand that you're improving and you have to do all you can to improve. But that's why you probably feel a little bit like because you want to improve, you know. So
if you think everything you touches turns into gold, then you have to step off those happy pills, I think. I like Dave Bryant machines. You see, there's so many Dave Bryant machines.
I never heard of that. I should look up. Can I? Well, not now, but yeah, man. What is good about bright machines? Are they coil machines? Probably, right?
Sounds like one.
Yeah. So what do you like about them?
There's somebody asking about the coil versus rotary, but what about us new learners? It's like, I think if you can obviously do good lines with the rotary, like with pen type machine. It's just, it kind of, for me personally, feels that with coil it's more efficient and that line heals better. It's not impossible, it's just, I think, slower. But if you find working with that, it's fine. It's not a bad thing. Plus, if you work in a shop where everyone is working, let's say, with certain pen type of machines, they will give you best advice on those pen type machines. If you will show up with that one coil machine, you will have no help, and obviously all the fact that it's more quiet and all that stuff, you'll be just that one weirdo being like, no, this is true shit.
Yeah. Which was it? Milo?
Yeah.
Juiceful. You can read? Guys, pretty much every... that he's answering to other comments. Guys, pretty much every machine has its use if you know what you are doing, but if you start with coil machines, you will definitely learn more about the craft itself. Just my opinion. Your opinion is really good opinion, and I know where it's coming from.
I think a pen type or these like all modern rotary type machines, they are like a stock car. Like it's a Volkswagen. It's a good car. It take you places, and you can deliver cupboard from IKEA home. Coil is more like it's tuned a bit more specifically. It's like one is more like a rally car, which would go like. One is like some drag race type of stuff. So it's excellent at that thing what it's made of, and
I think if you jump into realistic tattooing, go straight with this.
Yeah.
Don't mess around with some coils.
And
obviously lining coil.
Go in a shop, see what everyone uses, get the same thing. You can get advice, you can get tips on how to clean it, wrap it, tune it, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I liked it.
What music do you like? Breakcore, jazz.
Britney Spears is all gone. That's for sure.
No, she's coming back. And yeah, old school hip hop, a bit of new school hip hop. Not Travis Scott because he messed up, but breakcore is the one for me.
For me, I like all kinds of stuff, but mostly it's where guitars are.
Birot is saying, can I tip in vinyl? I think for you it's definitely...
tip in vinyl?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
She'll tip you with vinyl. She's like...
Oh, you already did it. You already did it with the best death metal band that I've been listening. I mean, that's one of the best things I ever got. So thanks, Birut. Yeah, those who don't know, Birut came from Lithuania to Latvia to get a tattoo from me. And after I was done with the tattoo, she gave me a gift, and that's a vinyl of some old school sci-fi death metal, progressive death metal band. And again, thanks to tattooing. So where are we?
Round shaders or round liners for old school motifs?
Round liners.
Yeah. I rarely experiment with round shaders. I think in cartridge world it's more popular because I think they're not as wide as traditional needle like round shaders. But I just don't like when you can see when you see those lines in a, like there's a thick outline but you see it's made out of a thinner line.
I just think that I mean, you don't need to make that thick lines, and I think the lines blow up more quicker when you do round shader lining.
Like one dude said, it's a blasphemy. It's like not a blasphemy. It's like more like a voodoo magic. You are doing some dodgy stuff there.
Yeah.
I held like there was some comment held for review. It looks like just somebody just wants to throw their Instagram. Is like, hey guys, what do you think about tattooing? Here's my Instagram. So don't be that. Here's my Instagram.
Man,
guy.
Simon is killing it again. Let's see if we can have the stream questions and answers for 4 hours. Enjoy this.
It's like I'm enjoying this.
Man, this is like having a flight to Australia using sleeping pills. It goes fast.
Yeah, I haven't communicated with this many people in like forever. So like, you know, it's better than talking to myself, right, man? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, ha ha ha, Simon, I'm enjoying it too. God helps us.
What do you guys think about Lace Nano? I actually like it.
What is it? Music?
No, I use it as a stand.
Is that a band?
Yeah.
This is like your favorite song? What is it?
It's the lightest tattoo machine on planet.
Ah, gee, Joe.
And actually, I tried it a bunch of times and it worked fine. It works for lining maybe a bit slower, but it was easily doing like 11 liners. And when I got it out of the box, I was like, did they send me some display unit? Like, try it, how light it is.
Ah, yeah, I remember. Dude. This is... And you can put that battery on. You can... Right?
Oh.
So you can actually... This is like a kit that you can use in the parties when you want to tattoo someone who don't know is gonna get a tattoo.
Or sneak it in your butt on an airplane or something.
Did I use it? Did I try it?
No.
That time? No?
I don't think you did.
Because I would love to try this one, man. But it seems so weak. It seems so... Like... Not grown properly, you know?
It's a baby machine.
It's a baby machine.
It's a...
Show them, yeah. Crazy. Good, Simon. Good. Then give them some more questions. I'm afraid they will end stream soon. Ha ha ha. Well, I wanted to end the stream hour ago already, but
you didn't want it to start.
But I was, you know, I don't want to leave you hanging there with.
Do you have any book recommendations for learning to draw more traditional flash or learning all color palettes for traditional designs?
Who said that? The first thing I have.
Josh Rogers.
Josh Rogers. Lately, I've been using this trick on Google. I'm writing down, for example, I want to tattoo a bird. Then I write down in Google vintage bird paintings, vintage bird art, and they have so good illustration, and also whatever it is. And I get reference from these things, and also the coloring is simplified there, and I think it's a really good way to do it, and you don't have to spend any money. And other thing is probably start with the basic with Sailor Jerry, Ed Hardy. I mean,
Spider Murphy.
Spider Murphy.
I like the colors in Spider Murphy.
Spider Murphy, yeah, that's like solid. And also, for me, what I learn a lot from is comics artists. I lately watch live stream with comics artists like Simon Finch. No, oh sorry, yeah, there is some comics artists from Marvel, and they explain color palettes really well, and you can learn from that.
Pinterest is also great. Yes, if you organize it.
Yeah.
Birot, do you ever get tired of talking about tattoos? I think most of the time you don't want to talk about them, but this is just fun.
Every time I come visit Yuris, this is all we talk about, and it comes so naturally. And this is one of the reasons why actually we started this, because we were talking it all anyways, just without cameras. And this is how we started it.
And it was like scary to get in front of live audience.
We were talking.
Thank you for information. I had a great time watching it. Thank you. Just cool.
Just asked for you to check not the chat. What?
It was maybe about that Instagram something.
Thanks for the advice. Carlos is self-taught as much as I remember, so I'm curious what you find as best practice. I'm struggling between drawing and tattooing as one develops bad habits for the other and vice. Yeah, hard for. So, well, I understood what you're asking. Actually, you know, I got lucky that the shop where I started tattooing, there were so many great guest artists coming to the shop, and I took tiny bits from everyone. And I always felt like I had more teachers than one, just because I learned from. So it's really healthy to be around good tattooers, and that's the best way to learn tattooing. If I wouldn't be around these people, I would not learn even half of what I learned. And that's my advice. One of advice to get a apprenticeship in a good shop. And if you can't get it, I mean, of course there's all kinds of things. Like, I mean, I did draw 24/7 when I just started. I didn't go home. I was just sitting in the shop. I was drawing, and I always thought, if I will lose this chance, this opportunity to be a tattooer, I will not gonna like myself anymore, you know.
It's also there with those few dudes that, like, if something's bad, they would tell you that it's bad.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh yeah, keep on trying. They're like, nah, dude, this is.
Yeah. But now in these days, actually, what I do is I make a plan for myself. I try to figure out which things are not going as well as I wanted to, and then I attack them and try to learn it. So yeah, I mean, learn drawing. That's the fundamental of
Bambuzi tattoos. Do you agree with fine line tattooing?
Yeah. Why not?
I also do agree. I have questions. I want to see more healed results, but I don't have no issue with fine line, and I see it. I think it's a bit over kind of bullied by the old school tread bros, who's like, no, 14 liner, and there's plenty of good works in.
Yeah. I mean, good fine line is the beep. Do you like using a heavier or lighter grip? Yeah, like back in some years ago, I used heavier grip, but now I'm using just completely light grip. I think it's something to do with my arm. It's so used to holding this machine that I don't even care. I can use pencil.
I think machines are gotten less aggressive, and those grips are getting better. They're more like solid. On the Pinterest comment, it's also, I've seen people who use Pinterest as a sort of, like, you know, for realistic stuff, they like all the statues and all that, and you can get a lot of pictures of those then, and you can actually make like a folders, like you pin your interests to your interest boards. So you go to some guest spot and you need we had a guest spot in the old shop, guest artist who was like, oh cool, he just opens Pinterest and he have already pinned all his favorites things to do. So Pinterest is good if you use it properly. Pinterest can get annoying when you get those 40 tattoos for women in middle age who didn't want to commit, and then you have like just for half a year coming in people with same tattoo.
But I learned one thing. I'm like, if I feel like this tattoo will not look good or has to be changed, I'm not shy of telling a customer, hey man, let's do this way. And this is what I learned from other tattooers, and they all did great job just because of this reason. And sometimes, I mean, I hate to do something that I not feeling that it's gonna go great. And I just don't like that feeling afterwards. And I did that few times in my start of my career, and I realized, no, I don't want to deal with that. So I'm always telling my customers, hey man, maybe this is better, maybe this is better. Even if sometimes you have to say no if you feel like it's not gonna work. But that's just me. That's how I work. Of course, tattooer's job is to do a tattoo. And if you have nothing coming to the shop and you're like start to get cocky with your customers, it's also not good. So, yep.
So there were a few things removed due to the dodgy.
I see. Pony Lavson does tattoo critics always didn't mean to offend. What? Josh Rogan. Josh Roger. Joe Rogan. Josh Roger, thanks so much, guys. Hey.
Pen and paper versus pens and tablets.
There is no versus. It's completely different thing. At the same time, it's kind of the same, but for me, I love pen and paper. I'm just used to do that, and I don't see. And I actually like these loose designs. And I think when you use tablet, the designs get so precise, and for me, it doesn't work. I really believe that I will use it at some point for other reasons than tattooing. For example, like do some t-shirt designs or whatever. But I really love the way pencil pen works for me, and I know a lot of tattooers who agree with that.
Should I go? Should I approach fine line with rotary or coil? Whatever works, I guess.
It depends what you do.
I've seen both results great. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have personal opinion. I have seen. Should I get offended if someone steals a flash design of mine?
I can't wait when someone steals my work. No, don't steal it, please. But I can't wait.
But it's fair. It's fair to feel upset, I think.
Of course.
And then it just depends on situation.
I can't get upset because I just think that it's, man, like, this is sad for that customer who got a copy of a work. That's just the only sad thing about it. I don't get hurt or anything. If there would be a guy stealing all the time my work and he got like more following than I do, then I would get upset. But if like some random guy just takes my work and steals it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I feel actually honored. But it's not fair for my customer who, for example, got that flash tattooed and someone else is wearing it as well. But that's why I'm trying to make these crazy shadings and colorings sometimes so no one can steal it.
Simon's kicking off, so peace out, man. Thanks,
Simon. Take care, buddy.
So how much has tattoo industry grown since you started? I just want to quickly reply to Bambuzzi Tattoo. He uses both, or she Bambuzzi Tattoo uses both, if I understand, coil and rotary. Then if you're comfortable with both, then I would say use what's more efficient. But if they're both the same, then probably if rotary is more quiet, then it will be more comfortable for customer. That's the only reason. But if there's anything that benefits tattoo more than the comfort, I would say I would go with that. And yeah, how much tattoo industry has grown since you started?
Crazy.
Boatloads.
Crazy. We are not like old-timer tattooers, and I've been working for 11 years and I can like tell that it's crazy, man. It's almost like every year is a little bit different. You can actually feel it. So it's growing, and I don't know which direction, but it's so diverse right now.
In general, in the bigger picture, it's the regulations that change and messes up, but like machines have evolved crazy, like inks, needles, and then all the social media. Like, there were some platforms where you were like almost ashamed to be, or like even YouTube 5 years ago we were like cringing out big time because we were having fun on YouTube and that wasn't a thing, and now you see there's like a professionally filmed videos where tattoo is drawing in slow motion stencils, and they're like, this is the story of blah blah blah. So it's all changing like crazy, and how popular it gets, regulations, attitude of people towards it. Again, when we have now like weird times where it's like a lot of these chains, and then some people get disappointed with work of their chains, and they come to our shops and they're like, oh yeah, do you have that thing where I pay you this much and then you just tattoo whatever for half a day? And you're like, what? And then you understand they're like, oh, they came from that environment where they like, we have this deal, pay, I don't know, this and this much and get tattooed for half a day. It's almost like a tattoo buffet type of thing. So it's definitely changing and keeps on changing. There was interesting, like, I guess if your design gets stolen, should you talk to the artist about stealing flash? I think you can express your emotions about it, but I think if the people are so comfortable stealing your flash, it will end up with that situation where you will say this is not cool, and they will make you feel as a PP, because they'll be like, oh yeah, what are you coming at me like, I don't know what's up, this is just design and all that stuff.
I mean, it's not cool to steal someone's work. Yeah. It's just not cool.
And it's also fair to express your upsetness about it, but if you're not comfortable with talking about it, it can backfire and it might upset you. Like I had that incident with that dude whose design apparently I stole without knowing. I'm feel comfortable in those situations and I enjoy to talk about it. So I end up him deleting it, all his stories, and blocking me on all the profiles and all that, but you have to be comfortable and you have to expect that those people might be a bit of like not a nice people to talk. Like, I think it's fair to express your upsetness, but it can be tough if you're not ready for that person being complete hole in a bottom of a person.
Just don't steal. Don't steal. It's easy.
Borrow.
Buy it. Well, I think we have to end this beautiful times in 15 minutes.
Yeah, we have last 15 minutes.
Last 15 minutes.
It's tripled our expected situation.
Okay, read, my friend. Thank you for the chat. Yeah, is that one? Yeah.
For smoother lining, I want to say my boss had if I want fans, I'll be okay with people. Well, yeah, reinterpret that word. But yeah, I know what you mean, like, and also like be flattered, but
what is the question?
That boss said if I want fans, I have to be okay. Like, if you want to be cool, you have to be kind of like, if you want to be.
If you want fans?
If you want to be big time, then you have to expect that people will steal your stuff, kind of a thing.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, but like, you can also, if somebody steals it and brags about it, it's a bit different story that somebody just happened to done it,
I would be, like I said, I would be kind of happy if someone actually recognized me and thought that my work is so good that he's ready to steal it and risk it for stealing it.
And again, depends what you do. Like, if you made a realistic statue of David and somebody else did it, like, everybody does them. So it's like, it's not your work stolen.
But it's like, hello from Black Dory Tattoo in Newfoundland, Canada.
Canada is our friends, man.
Many Canadians we have here. Hello back, man. How is life in Canada? In your shop, man?
There's a question. What's a walk-in tattoo? How does it work if not booking an appointment? They walk in, they get a tattoo.
Walk-in tattoo is when someone walks in the middle of day and asks if you can do a tattoo right on spot.
Or can you do this, or can you do something like this? And then
Yeah.
if you have time, you're like, yeah,
But
sure.
then there is difference between the shops. There's walk-in shops, there is private studios and whatnot. So you can do walk-ins in everywhere you go.
I'm pretty much 70% walk-in.
Yeah, Juris is walk-in. Busy shops usually don't do walk-ins, and then there is more, like if you have one customer day or something, you can do always a walk-in.
Yeah, it's nice if you have one booked and one or few walk-ins where you're like, you know, I did this, and then somebody comes in an afternoon, you're like, sure, let's do this writing on you.
Yeah. Team Traveling Hendrix says you guys rock. Cheers. Cheers back. Hey. Yoy. Cheers back.
Bling.
You guys rock. We don't rock. We just try to help you guys. You are killing it. Today I had to refuse a tattoo. This dude wanted a cock on his chest, like a rooster. I understood. Yeah. No, well, that's a good way to say no. You know, that's a good reason to say no, I guess.
Yeah, and
But for some people, it's like, if you don't feel comfortable to do it, don't do it.
I'm sometimes like, if you want it, you'll get it. Like, you know, it's on you.
I know some tattooers who would definitely do it, but for me, it wouldn't be no as well. And you have to feel bad about it.
I did a sunflower with a smiley face today, and it was like almost a walk-in. They messaged, do you have time at 5? I'm like, sure. What do you want? Sunflower. I drew one with a smiley face. I'm like, how about that? It's like, I love it. That's it.
Birut says, thank you so much for your time and answers. This was blast. Completely blast. I'm like blast away.
Yeah.
I'm like electricitized.
We were planning to do like hour tops and film bunch of episodes, but we are 3 hours in and like
10 minutes left.
And I still have no idea how I made this work. Like I pressed buttons.
Yeah, crazy man. It's destiny. 10 minutes left.
Philly Noble Art says hello. Yeah, Poopsie.
From Heart Tattoo.
Noble Heart.
Noble Heart Tattoo.
Jeremy Arguello. Thanks, I forgive, and is it going matter 10 years from now? If you forgive, then nothing matters in 10 years.
What? How do you understand that? Okay. Just finished up for the day. Keep up this sick wids, dudes. Cheers. Cheers, buddy.
I like how tattoo turned into t-shirt prints, bag prints, shoes, and more.
What?
There's also a cool design.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the designs have multiple lives.
This is gonna be in stock soon. My t-shirts, I made them recently. You can go to my Instagram, see the video how I'm making that thing. It's handmade with the screen print and good quality t-shirts. I'm not lying, I'm not trying to trick you guys, it's real deal.
Good price, my friend.
Good price, my friend. And I'm gonna soon I will have an online store. I'm working on it and I wanna sell prints, t-shirts and all kinds of goodies. So
the goodies.
So yeah, let's move on. We have 8 minutes left. Like how
You have merchandise. Carlos have.
Yeah. Thank you guys for great show. Loads of laughs and good infos. Loads of laughs and good infos. Milo, I like that you like what we are talking about.
If you have some like cool shit in your shop, like stickers or something, send them in and we'll shout you out on a channel.
Yeah, boy.
I like stickers, but I don't stick them anywhere. Like I have boxes of stickers.
Paola, thank you for coming. She says thanks for the stream. See you next time. Perfect company. Really, really nice to read all these comments. You guys killing it. You think you...
What's up with those Bible people, guys?
Yes,
like...
thank you. I appreciate it. Not the Bible people. You have merchandise. Yes, I have. Yeah, great. Of course. Yeah. Wow. Can you do a tour of your studio for one of your episodes? Much love from Uruguaya. Uruguaya. Hell yeah. Wow. Uruguaya. How is it there? Is it cold?
Is it plus 40?
Is tattooing a thing there? How is it there?
Yeah, tattoo shop tour. I mean, obviously, place where Carlos works in Riga is way more exciting. I'm started video half a year ago. I haven't finished it. I want to make a video where it's like, what hygiene rules apply to the situation, and that would involve like what I have in shop, because it's like, you know, the walls where you store ink, what's the cupboards, how we like pack stuff, autoclave stuff, do we autoclave stuff for tattooing, where we store stuff. So it would be a small shop tour.
Cool.
At some point when I got my
when you get
time. Like I have video 80% finished. I just have to film all the things from the shop.
5 minutes left, 6 minutes left.
Yeah, so that was that. All the hidden jokes I saw on this channel. Well, we don't joke. We're serious people. We don't know what joke is.
But hey, Simon is back. I had to come back last minute. So do you guys use a pre-made gray wash, or do you deal ink to shade with? We use Fusion, extra dark, medium, light. That's the good thing. I think pre-mixed gray wash is great. I love it.
You eliminate the factor of messing things up.
Yeah, sometimes even like pre-mixed gray washes are smoother. I don't know what they apply there, but for me, I did use pre-mixed for the Japanese background. I loved it so much, but now these days I'm just mixing it myself. Hey Simon, you're back for the 4-hour stream. No, it's not gonna happen. Sorry guys. 5 minutes.
Bambupsi tattoos. I'll send stickers. There's should be in the description shops like Instagram, and then you can find address, but it's in Denmark. Jeremy is just going like religious crazy, so I think we can.
You will be the bad boy here, huh?
Hide user on this channel so he can scream his stuff into abyss.
Thank you guys for the fun times. I have no more questions. Well, that's why we have to stop. Probably
4 minutes.
We're gonna talk out everything today. Then we will never have a stream again because we will be empty.
Emotionally,
yeah.
We'll be just staring at screens, being like.
I think I'm gonna. I'm so hyped now that you're gonna probably hear me talk when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, it's fine. So, hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, buy my merch.
Skibba hubba hubba. Like those young rappers. I will hubba hubba hubba. Okay, let's all stop with the questions. Lads deserve a break.
No, it's last 3 minutes. It's fine.
Last 3 minutes.
We're finishing our cup of teas.
I like that word, lads. I think it's a cool one.
Oi, lads. What's the rich situation in England?
9 minutes left. Oh, I see you're delayed. Well, yep. Yeah, we should say goodbye, like a long goodbye.
Yeah, thank you everyone who watched. So we're just like 3 minutes.
Yep.
So we are saying thank you very much for everyone who was on it, and also those too few, I don't know how many there was, superheroes who did donations. That's I didn't know what to do. Like, you know, in Denmark people don't tip, and when somebody tips you, you're like,
Holy moly.
What we're supposed to do here now?
You should have this money saved up for some purpose to help people for tattooing.
I'll send out a fucking tattoo machine that I don't use.
Yeah.
I got a lot of... Dude, you have to subscribe to personal...
How much we love doing rose
it's not
tattoos, hearts, lines, and watches.
Okay.
Stop, Simon. Next time, yeah, Simon, you're awesome.
Okay, what socks are you wearing? Somebody have seen Tattoo Sock Talk episode?
I have socks with FU, but
And I have just the budget dad pack.
I'm scared that this tattoo shop talk will end with some fashion thing.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Well, I don't want to get naked here, but you know.
By the way, we might get a sponsorship from Manscaped, so we don't know how to present that, so we'll have to make an OnlyFans page where we shave our Manscaped thingies.
Yeah, that's a new thing, and I think it's a good opportunity to just improve with the shop, with the YouTube channel. Yeah. So if you see that, don't cringe. It's just part of the
YouTube
development. Yeah. So last minute, hey, was a blast. I will go sleep and get ready for tomorrow's work. And we see you at some point.
Yeah, we'll make hopefully a few episodes during the week, and then we post them one by one. There should have been episode coming out tomorrow, but I messed up some big time in some data, so I have to reshoot that video. That's a review of Archer Must's pen type tattoo machine, so I'm sorry there will be no video on that, but you have this 3-hour stream. And yeah, there'll be a few episodes on those subjects that we mentioned yesterday, like stretching skin, good experience with tattoo clients, planning and building a sleeve, maybe since it's a holiday season, what would be a good present for your friend tattooist or partner tattooist or tattoo shop. But that's kind of, we have to figure it out. Also, time is a bit of a issue, but it was all awesome. Let's see the last one. Simon, you're a fucking awesome. Thank you for being around.
Take care, guys. Love you.
Pepe, Pirote, Taylor. Thank you all. I hope I will figure out how to finish this thing. Jesus. It's complicated. This internet stuff is complicated. So, exit.